moment you've all been waiting for. Welcome to Big Think Dimension Game of the Year, Part 4. We're so excited to talk about what we've all really been waiting for all of January. Well, guys, let's get to it. First category of today, Best Chicken Nugget.
Dan, you madman. This is the last Thursday slot in the month. What are you doing?
Well, that's fine.
What matters?
Look, the calendar fucked me. We got 5 Thursdays last year.
Let's pretend there are 5 Thursdays.
Yes. I don't bend to a fucking calendar's will. The candidates for Best Chicken Nugget are Burger King,
Ugh.
Kid Cuisine,
What?
McDonald's,
Yes.
Tyson Dino Chicken Nugget,
Hell
Ooh.
yes.
Wendy's Normal, and Wendy's whatever the Spanish word is for spicy.
Muy caliente.
Yes, Wendy's Caliente.
If you can't handle the spicy nugget, in real life, the text EC mode is now selectable, appears.
Wendy's El Forma de Chili.
Muy. How many we got between this?
Yeah, we've got 6 of them.
Can we have 3?
Yes, let's do 3.
God.
We're gonna do 3. That'll work for
Thank
me.
you.
Real quick, before I vote for any of them,
Yes.
let me say, ladies and gentlemen, I ate the Burger King chicken nugget, and I thought that was as bad as it could get.
At the time, right?
Then I ate Kid Cuisine.
Oh.
Yeah, I bet. Did you make the Kid Cuisine in the oven?
No, because we thought, Bob was like, that goes counter to, it's a kid's cuisine.
Yeah, the kid's cuisine's ethos is the microwave. There's no way
Yeah.
you can put that in the oven. It's not okay.
The microwave?
Yeah.
Yeah, I always, whenever, TV dinners were a thing in my household, it would always be, okay, we're going to put all 4 in the oven.
I've never heard of that.
Okay, here's... In my household, I was like, why don't I just do it in the microwave? And parents like, what are you, an idiot?
That's correct. That's a correct take.
Because I was like, I want to have the food with the treat inside it in the little compartment. And they're like, if we're not here, you can't have it because you're not using that oven, and that's the only way you're gonna make that damn thing.
What the hell? This is insane.
So I had to settle, for SpaghettiOs that night.
I'm going to be honest. After eating that Kid Cuisine, that seems like a flat upgrade. Because, Jesus, the chicken nuggets in that thing, it's like eating breading. It's not, there's no spice. You don't really taste the meat. It's kind of nuts.
I put that because I, of course, picked up the Kid Cuisine meal that included chicken nuggets.
Mm-hmm.
I put it in my mouth. I bit down. And the smallest, most scariest stream of water liquid shot out of it as I bit in and hit me. And it got me so bad that I coughed and fucking the chicken nugget just fell. It just fell onto the floor. And I was like, God.
Then you threw the whole thing away, right?
No. Then I moved on to the next one after cleaning that up.
Oh.
And then I put one in my mouth, and this time it just felt emptier.
Oh.
Like the inside of the chicken was just missing a chunk somehow.
Oh, that's alarmingly vile.
And as you chew through it, you go, man, you thought the bar was low when you would go to school.
Right?
Yeah, no, it's below that.
And you would pay the 3/4 that they require you to pay for reduced price lunches or whatever it costs.
Exactly.
Because sometimes you'd go to school and they're like, oh no, your income's too high now. You can't get it for free. Fuck you. And then you chew into this. And I go, this is pretty vile. But then I had the corn. And then I entered Tartarus.
Yeah.
Yeah, me and Dan weren't even brave enough to eat the corn.
I was like, I remember the corn from a kid. I ain't touching that.
Oh, this
Really?
it's like gore.
Everything offered in that was
Please.
bad. Even the dessert wasn't great.
Literally, I finished the chicken nugget. I have a little bit of the brownie, and I go, we're feeding kids this? That's insane.
Yeah, it's your kid prison food.
Yeah.
What a fucking idea we had where it's like, all right, kid cuisine, put that in the chicken nugget thing. That'll work.
Well, to be fair, that's the last fucking time I'm going to eat kid cuisine unless next year's category has best frozen pizza. And as a mark, I put kid cuisine on that list.
Oh,
We're doing it.
Yeah, there's no way the pizza's that bad, right? How could you make pizza as bad as the
We might
chicken
as well
nugget?
have a category called Best Lunchable.
Oh, man.
that would go better than that chicken nugget.
yeah.
It would. Okay,
Yeah.
maybe next year has best.
with kid cuisine involved.
Do we want to make votes?
Yeah, I think
Yeah, I'm ready to vote. I've had enough discussion. Bob, do you want to go first, though? You sounded ready.
Sure, why not?
Okay. What are you voting for?
I'm voting for regular Wendy's chicken nuggets.
Okay, that's your first nomination. Why?
They're good. They're the best chicken nugget there is. They have a good crunch on the outside. It tastes like chicken inside, and there's a good amount of seasoning on the outside of them.
Okay. You get two more.
I noticed that we don't have Chick-Fil-A on here, so I'm not voting for anything else. All the others are bad.
There was a conversation while Bob was out of the room 30 minutes ago in which Dan's like, you're okay if I just drop Chick-fil-A from the from the list, KZ? And I'm like, absolutely, Chick-fil-A has the worst chicken of them all, actually, in my opinion.
Bob, we can add that back on. We have write-ins.
Okay.
Okay. I'll move this down.
And I would give Dino Nuggets a pity vote because they're better than these other nuggets, but they're still not what I would consider good.
Yeah, they're still not good enough.
Did you microwave those too?
No.
Thank God.
No, we don't microwave, real chicken nuggets. We only microwave the single entree nightmare food.
Yeah, I mean, you microwave a TV dinner. That makes sense. You don't microwave every frozen product in your freezer. Like, that doesn't... That's not exactly essential to the nature. It takes like 10 minutes to fucking oven this. Meanwhile, most TV dinners are like, okay, stick it in the oven for 40 minutes. And I'm like, what am I, the wolf pit? I'm not going to fucking spin it.
I do that. I also do it with Hot Pocket.
I don't think I've ever had a Hot Pocket from the oven.
They're a lot better. That's why I do it.
Is there a really good Adam Ragusa Hot Pocket recipe?
He just makes a pot full of Hot Pockets throughout the week. He just comes and eats straight out of the pot.
Out of the bowl, put it back into the fridge. Sometimes I like to put cinnamon on it.
We can understand what we're talking about.
God, that's fucked up. Anyway, okay.
Impenetrable podcast.
This is what happens by the end of the Game of Year recordings. People should expect it.
Yup.
KZ, let's get your votes. Oh, wait. Actually, real quick, Bob.
What's up?
Explain Chick-fil-A's nuggets and why you like them.
They aren't really like regular nuggets, so I'm not even sure if they should have been on the list. But they're basically like chunks of chicken that have been coated in the typical Chick-fil-A like breading, which is great. Then they have the Polynesian sauce that's also really good and tangy, and the Chick-fil-A sauce, which is like the best version of honey mustard ever.
Yeah.
So yeah, they have a good crunch and they taste like nothing else.
So here's my thing. That first statement, that first part where you're like, they're nothing like the rest of these, so I'm not sure. One, that.
Right.
And two, as such, fundamentally upsets me.
You know what? I'm in the same way. I do like their breading. It's then you reach the chicken and go, this tastes terrible.
It's just so bizarre of a thing.
Yeah, it's just like a diced chicken breast instead of the mush that the more chicken nuggets associated with.
But see, here's the thing, right?
Yeah.
Like, Chick-fil-A normal chicken tenders I actually really like. Chick-fil-A nuggets are just really weird because they're more like kebab bits that are micro-sized.
Like honestly, the best version is the tender. Like
yes,
that's
obviously
the ideal.
Well, but sadly, this category isn't about chicken tenders.
No.
So Chick-fil-A was removed from the list, but it's back. That's okay. Okay, KZ, you can vote now.
So I tried that Burger King stuff, right?
Okay, I'll write that in. Sure, Burger King.
No, I tried it out. What I came out with.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
I know, right?
Yeah, I ate one of those and I was like, this is just the school nugget.
Like,
Wow.
I enjoy. If we're scoring these, right? If we are scoring these, Kid Cuisine gets a 1.
Okay.
Burger King's chicken nugget gets a 3.
I'm feeling it out, and I
It
think
didn't
you're on the
shoot
money.
a poisonous liquid when I bit into it, so
Stop
it gets an
talking about
additional
the
point.
poisonous liquid.
It's really bad when the local Chinese restaurant offered better chicken nuggets.
Yes.
Stop talking about how you bit into it and it squirted out liquid mercury, please.
Yeah, it was like it was the most cursed gusher I've ever had.
Oh.
But the Burger King one didn't do that, and it tasted somewhat faintly similar to their chicken fries, which I rate much higher. But aside from that, it was like the worst thing that I had here. That counts as a chicken nugget. You could argue the kids' cuisine was not a chicken nugget at all. It was instead filth.
Yeah.
You know, they really fucked up replacing their old chicken nuggets.
Yeah.
Burger King did.
Yeah.
That were like weird. They were tender shaped, but they were still like
They were
the
still nuggets.
nugget inside.
Yeah.
Those were way better sounding than what these ones are, because I remember liking those.
Yeah. Yeah. These are like, imagine you took one of those microwave gas station fried chicken sandwiches and you just cut out
shit
the
on it.
nugget. Yes. It's just like the world's saddest quote fried
then
chicken
it's-
patty.
And then it's sweat, and you put that in the kid cuisine.
It's amazing the Kid Cuisine looks like it has chicken in it, but you bite it.
I know, it tricks you. It's of the many things here compared to most of the options here, it looked the most like it was going to be chicken.
Yes.
Yeah, like even when you bite into it, it looks like you see the chicken part of it, but it all feels like the shell, like the crust.
Yeah.
When you're eating
Meanwhile,
it.
you didn't know it was a fake chicken sponge.
God.
Right. That is genuinely how that tastes. Yeah.
Yeah, not great. But my votes are going to go toward Wendy's normal.
Okay.
I wasn't a super big fan of the spicy because despite being mixed, the white side of my family just took over and went, "No, this is too hot for you. You're dying."
Oh my god.
See, I thought you were gonna go. I always remember the Wendy's spicy ones being really dry compared to the normal ones.
That's my experience
That's
as
true.
well.
Yes, that's just how they make them.
So
It's really bizarre.
I thought KZ was gonna say that, and not. Man, there's half a teaspoon of cayenne pepper between these 5. I'm done.
Casey sees
You know-
something that's colored red and just goes, "Ooh, that's too spicy. I can't look at the color red and eat it."
It's a
I remember
cherry.
one time it was way too hot for me when I had the Doritos spicier nacho chips, which are just the nacho cheese flavored chips, but they're a little spicy. That was too much for me. I started sweating.
That's really
Meanwhile, Dan's like, I'm gonna eat 3 Takis on this stream.
Yeah.
Oh, it hurts, but I'm gonna keep doing it.
Yeah.
My dad gave me Tabasco once and I felt sick.
Well, KZ, lucky for you, Billy Mitchell made a hot sauce just for you.
He's gonna need the business too. Allegedly parody satire. So after Wendy's, I'm gonna go McDonald's. McDonald's, I was like, this is acceptable. This is acceptable. I enjoy this. I've had this many a time. And then the Tyson dinosaur chicken nugget, where I had that, and I'm like, you know, I almost burned this, but the crunchiness really added to the flavor.
Yeah, I feel like the recommended cook length is too short. Like, we nailed that every time, and it still just, I feel like I could have put a crust on it, you know?
Yeah, I think that it was pretty successful. We were like, oh, put some
Hot sauce on it
sauce
before
on
we
it.
cook it. Yeah, that actually did help a lot.
Nothing too hot, though.
Yeah, we only use Billy Mitchell around these.
Lemon juice is sometimes too much for me.
Casey's like, why is my cheerwine spicy? I just did what Dan suggested.
Dude, I had a peppermint candy cane today, and it fucked me up. I was like, man, this is kind of like rough.
This is
He's
really
like,
great.
Is that cinnamon? That's too hot.
Yeah. Dude, Red Hots used to knock me out.
Those things are great. Okay. Hey, Feel.
Yes.
What are you voting for?
Wendy's normal,
Okay.
then McDonald's,
Okay.
then Wendy's spicy.
You're so strong.
How could he eat that?
He's this strong.
Dude, I'm serious. I had half of one.
Are you fucking sick?
Get a big old glass of milk with it.
I should have. You know, soda wasn't enough.
It was really
Like,
funny because Casey.
You use like the lens of truth to see KZ's soul, and you're just it's like a just pure white on a QLED. You're just covering your eyes.
He's a slice of Wonder Bread covered in mayonnaise.
I hate mayonnaise.
Casey's
the worst.
Casey's just like he just eats the way the White Devil does in Undercover Brother, where she eats white bread with mayo.
God,
I forgot about that.
mayonnaise is one of the worst things ever created.
Try Dukes.
No,
There you go. That's okay.
Dan vote.
Yeah, so this is really simple, and we could already see who's going to win. Wendy's normal chicken nugget, perfect balance of a little bit of breading, decent flavor, decent texture, really solid chicken nugget. You can do way worse than a Wendy's chicken nugget. I think that's going to take first place for me.
I just remembered something else I need to say about Wendy's chicken nuggets.
Sure, go.
They're the only chicken nugget I've talked to someone about, and they've been like, yeah, I got salmonella from it once, but I still go back and eat them.
See, I didn't get it from the chicken nuggets. I got food poisoning from their spicy chicken sandwich twice. One time I was like, okay, I'll go back. That was clearly just
Playing the
luck of the draw. And then twice it's like, no, I'm sorry. You're doing something wrong.
There's something fucking wrong with your spicy chicken. What the fuck's wrong with
I'm
you
glad
guys?
we made this segment.
Second place, I'm going to go to McDonald's. I think that's an easy win for McDonald's. McDonald's, I spent a good bit of age 8 to about 30 just being like, McDonald's chicken nuggets, whatever. It's for kids. Who fucking cares? I'm not going to go to McDonald's for chicken nuggets. And then I guess it wasn't 30. It was like mid 20s. Anyways, some cool Olympian dude is like, yeah, I eat them all the time. And I'm like, how the fuck can you eat these goddamn chicken nuggets all the goddamn time? And I tried them and I was like, oh, okay. So the benefit of the McDonald's chicken nugget is it has a lot of crunch. Like it has way more crunch than any of the others on here. It's got a real bite to it. It's almost like attempting a beer batter-esque approach, whereas none of the rest of these are. And I really actually like that. Its problem is that it does not have as much flavorful spice, like the Wendy's, right?
Yeah.
That's its major problem. But as a basic bitch fucking chicken nugget, it's pretty good. And because of the deficiency in the Wendy's spicy, which takes my third place, of being a hockey puck, because it's so fucking dry. Yeah, I'm gonna say it's better than that.
Too much.
It really isn't.
Well, I'm from Texas, so they're like super spicy.
They really are. They're the same chicken nuggets everywhere, Casey.
You see, it's just like, I'm in the Soul Society and you're in like the human world, so they have to limit the power.
Clearly. All of your spiciness in Texas is just so much beyond the rest of us. Okay, guys.
Did we just get a perfect setup?
We did. I'm open to debate, but I don't think anyone's going to do it. Our list is Wendy's as best chicken nugget, McDonald's as second best chicken nugget, and Wendy's spicy as third best chicken nugget, with a distant runner-up Chick-Fil-A and Tyson Dino Nuggies.
I'd have to like freeze the spicy ones a little bit or like pour water on them, but I feel like I could agree with it being in third.
That seems acceptable.
Look forward to Game of the Year 2021 where we debate on best chicken tender.
That actually, that sounds great.
We should just do fries.
We can have both.
Then Bob and I will have to travel to any Burger King other than the one in town.
God, they can't.
But that'll be great because you'll be like, here are the fries from Tops.
Yes, I'll be like, these are great. Please, no one look up the fact they probably use freezer bag French fries.
Well, I can, and then I'll be like, Dan, I can't get those because I can't order them online. That's Niceville only.
Oh no! As it turns out, I was talking to a friend recently who was like, my first interaction with someone was someone linked the Big Think clip. And they're like, are they talking about the same Tops I have in New Jersey?
See, that's the weird thing. I don't know if that's owned by the same people. I haven't looked into it. Clearly, I need to go have a conversation with Tops.
Tops feels like a fairly generic name.
Right? I don't know. But I do know that this category has been decided.
Good.
It's another one in the chamber.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, that was over 20 minutes. We win.
It's an important discussion.
I'm winning, even
I know.
right now.
I wanted us to hit 30, but you know.
Okay. Going on to the next category.
Uh-oh, you're up to something.
Games for Kino, brought to you by Spam.
We had some issues with sponsors at first. We had to move it around a little bit.
We
All
just
worked out though.
we couldn't secure that Southeastern Grocers sponsor.
Oh,
You see
yeah, we
that?
could have had a well, since KZ ate something that squirted out mercury. Time for something that came in mercury.
The candidates for Games for Kino are 13 Sentinels, Aegis Rim, Final Fantasy VII Remake, Ghost of Tsushima, parentheses Horse Game Plus, Neo 2, the part of Persona 5 Royal where KZ had to play 90 hours to see, and Xenoblade Chronicles. Oh, man. Do we do 3 votes?
I think
You gave
two.
us 3 last time, and this
I
is
think
6.
2 is plenty.
Stay consistent.
Not even one.
Yeah, that make it too easy.
No, this is still hard.
So last time we had 7 options. Isn't that right, Bob?
Yes.
You gonna make me write in a game?
I've been trying to think of any other game I would want to put on Games for Kino.
Doom Eternal.
Doesn't it have weird connections to Doom 64?
Yes, that's why I said it. But fucking put Doom Eternal in there. There's a part where they make him recite a line verbatim from the Doom comic book from 1994.
I added it. Okay, I'll go first. "13 Sentinels" gets my first nomination because, of course, it does. The game's Kino as hell. It has all sorts of insane, up its own assery writing. I feel like I don't even need to explain this, but you know what? Anyone who's played the game gets it. And I'll leave it at that because we already had to spoil that game in every other recording for Game of the Year.
Right.
If you get it, you get it. Next, I'm going to write Ghost of Tsushima for one reason.
Yeah, I'm gonna need this reason right now.
If you haven't beaten Ghost of Tsushima and you are worried about getting spoiled, you will want to skip about a minute. 3, 2. You can't name your next horse the same name as the first horse. It literally forbids you on New Game Plus from naming it the same name.
Oh.
I was like, oh no.
Oh. Fuck.
I am never getting it back.
No.
Oh, I guess I guess Jin Sakai is stuck in fucking Groundhog Day.
Yes.
Exactly. I'm like, oh no. My God, why?
We could Ghost of Tsushima 2, and it's just based on that concept.
Oh my God, that would be nuts. It's Majora's Mask. You just keep looping.
No matter what you do, you kill Ryuzo because he's a cock. It always works out that way.
It just always works out that way. Nothing can change that. He's tried doing everything. Jin Sakai even tried watching the game shows with all the old people guessing the answers in advance.
Okay, Ryuzo, I've brought you 13 tons of rice every week for the last 5 weeks. Don't betray me.
They're so hungry.
They're all just
My
obese.
guys are starving. Yeah, it just like cuts to they like all his guys look like Roach from Heavenly Sword.
Jesus. Dude's like 500 fucking pounds. And my third nomination is going to Doom Eternal because the shit it does with the lore from the first one takes some real bold fucking shit.
Yes.
When you hit that first level that decides it's going to be a flashback level,
Yeah.
and they specifically name the character Doom Guy in the subs and not Doom Slayer.
There's I think the way they changed the lore of specific characters for the first one and everything around that, just this building out of the universe in such an insane way as a direct sequel to the prior one. I know a lot of people out there, as we like to call them, wet blankets, did not enjoy the way that Doom Eternal built out its power structure and history and everything else. I loved every fucking second of it. It is hilarious, even if parts of it are a real stretch when connecting it to the prior game. I don't give a fuck. So that's why I'm nominating it.
It's a cool, insane cartoon.
Still waiting for the Hexen tie-in.
Man.
Guts. Huge guts.
I guess we'll go next to KZ.
If I have to pick my number one for games for Kino, Neo 2. that ending, that last 2 levels, fantastic. Because if I could think of, Kino can do one of 2 things for you, all right? They can do something in the story that I'm like, that's really cool. They found a way to connect this. I love it. I think it improves it. Or I can see what they were doing. They've connected it. What have you done? What have you done? You've done something insane. And everything surrounding how they make it Neo 2, despite it taking place before Neo 1. It's a nightmare.
I think I found a way to translate this category to people who maybe don't get it. One could say this category is elsewise named games where the writing has balls. And remember, bravery isn't always intentional. Sometimes ignorance is bravery.
God.
Sometimes a story can be brave, but it comes down to the person whether or not they appreciate that type of bravery or not.
Yeah. Look, just because you're brave doesn't mean everything's going to work out. The guys at the Alamo were brave.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's like sometimes someone comes in, they did something, you're like, look how brave that was. And that person's like, well, I'm not gonna join your RPG party. But other people are like, absolutely, I'm a rogue. Speaking of Final Fantasy VII Remake, not everyone's gonna join that RPG party, but whoever does will fight some ghosts. And they will play movies from 2006 in there for some reason. That shoot into a dog's brain. That seems neat. So I'll pick that.
Let me just. I assume anyone who cared about Final Fantasy remakes probably played it, but here's your heads up, anyways. It's mild spoilers.
Yeah.
The fucking part where they're just like, we're on an exhibit, and here's the end of the world. Sephiroth hacked the projector.
Easily the funniest.
You see, this is how it goes. Every time they did that, or every phase of that last fight before Sephiroth, where they shot in old material. I'm like, people are gonna hate this, but it's elevated at 4 points in my head. This is wonderful. Red 13's looking at bad Red 13s.
God, it's so smart.
No amount of vignetting can make that video not look as bad as it looks. All right, I need a third. In terms of like the story and the bravery of its story, I feel like 13 Sentinels for me specifically struts its bravery with such confidence I don't even notice it anymore. Because you feel that bravery like once you're doing like you've done like 4 prologues and 30% of like 3 characters, you're like, oh, wow. But by the end, you're like, yeah, you've been beating me for the past 30 hours. I fucking get it.
They're like, hey, a plot twist. And you're like, yeah, we've been doing that for 30 hours now, game.
Yeah, I know. I've seen 80 plot twists and had 20 of them ruined by me doing different orders. So that's not a big deal. So I'll abstain despite the fact it's like, it was great. It was great. They did a good job. So I will pick, I wanted to at least speak the part in Persona 5 Royal that I had to play 90 hours. I just thought the story in that was really good and wanted to at least highlight it in Game of the Year because that game took me half the year to finish.
Yeah, it's like, boy,
Yeah,
KZ sure makes me want to play that. I'm never going to.
Yes.
Maybe someday far in the future when I've completely forgotten 3 years ago.
Yes, that seems like the best case. I just wanted to highlight it. I don't want to vote for it though. I'll give it to Doom.
Okay.
That shit was nuts. When you played the audio log during the level where you have to save Samuel Hayden, where this woman's freaking the fuck out over everything, and she's like, "That dude's gonna kill all the demons. He's Doom." And that bitch just calls the Doomslayer Doom.
That's pretty good. Okay. So we're going to go to Bob next.
Sure. 13 Tentacles, totally a shoe in here. Like,
yeah.
No story I've seen anytime recently has been as insane as that. And well connected and written together.
Yeah, I was about to say, oh, Bob, just play Zero Time to Live, and it's like, oh, man, well written.
No, I'll leave.
I'll leave now.
I'll show in Doom Eternal as well. I think that does some really neat stuff, as we've talked about. And this is my first year playing Xenoblade Chronicles. That story really goes for it at the end. It makes me remember, like, oh yeah, PS1 RPGs. Thank you. I don't really want to spoil it here, but once you get to those last like hour or so, it's like, oh wow.
Once you're like the final boss is 25 minutes away and they put you in an area and you're like, oh, aha.
Now the funny thing about Xenoblade is Tetsuya Takahashi, who wrote Xenogears. I think this is right. I'm sorry if this is wrong. It's like, yeah, I let somebody else write most of Xenoblade, and then I just came in and did this one part. Everybody's like, oh, you can tell.
Yeah,
you're right.
It's really good.
Yeah, you're right. It's making me think about how much he had involved with 2, and I'm like, I could feel more of the energy at the end of the first one of things that he thinks are cool.
I think it being relegated to that small bit makes it especially PS1 RPG for me. So I don't think going into 2, if that's more present throughout the game, I would appreciate it as much.
Oh no, I just meant that there are certain concepts, but that specific really, really cool aspect of the end of Xenoblade 1 is not there the whole time.
All right.
That'd be fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Okay. Feel?
13 Sentinels. Xenoblade.
You have a sword in that.
You do. It's when Reddit gets eliminated. I got that backwards, actually. Never mind.
You just said that, and I was like, I don't know what the fuck's going on, but it's funny.
Here, I'll just derail this to talk about this stupid thing that people used to post. People used just to post this and just post with it the text. Reddit plays Xenoblade because it's Le Manado.
God.
Death.
I didn't say it was a good joke. I just said I had brain damage. It makes me laugh. Fuck it, Doom. I don't think Doom's as Kino as 13 Sentinels, but it's still pretty Kino.
I mean, I don't think many things are as Kino as 13 Sentinels, but
Right.
Yeah,
Not gonna lie, I did not know that me abstaining from voting for 13 Sentinels would allow Doom to be our most Kino game.
Yeah, I was considering not voting for Doom specifically to foil you.
I feel like
Fucking whatever.
It wasn't even a part of my plan. I just felt like highlighting other games, not just specifically Doom. It was mainly to give room for Neo 2.
I think that we could probably argue, even though he didn't vote for that, the 13 Sentinels still wins.
I mean,
we can't.
No, we can absolutely do that. Like this is to help us get it in a rough order, and from there we're supposed to argue whether a thing should go up or down. It's just most of the time when this happens, people look at it and go, "Yeah, that's right."
Right. Or there are people who won't bud, where it sounds like KZ still likes 13 Sentinels.
Of course I do. I said it was, if we're describing it as a way of, a Kino game is like, very brave. I'm like, it's too brave. It's like in an old NES game where it passes the number limit, so it resets to 1.
I'm just gonna say, 13 Sentinels is very cohesive. It should be higher.
And you're right to say that. Okay, so the order based on votes is Doom Eternal, 13 Sentinels, Xenoblade Chronicles, Power Gap, Neo 2, Final Fantasy 7 Remake, Ghost of Tsushima. Because those bottom three only got one vote. So then, we can start having this conversation. I think 13 Sentinels should go above Doom Eternal, even though Doom Eternal's writing is hilarious.
Fine, put it above it. Just say it won the Electoral College.
Yeah, that's what we're doing here.
And if America does it, it's right.
Don't worry, next year we'll have an insanely complicated scoring system. I already decided that.
Yes. That's very
No.
exciting.
No, I don't like change.
No, it will be hilarious.
I also don't want these to take 4 times longer because of your triple calculus scoring system.
No, it's cool. It's cool. We'll talk about it.
Now, this is one of those weird Dan ideas where he's like, this is going to make me laugh. I will now torpedo this.
No, it's actually just speed it up. But once again, won't be relevant for another 11 months. No point in bringing it up here. So is everyone okay with the order 13 Sentinels, Doom Eternal, and Xenoblade Chronicles? Should Xenoblade go...
No, I wanted Neo 2 should go up to 3rd place. Come on, Bob, you know I'm right.
No, it's done so clumsily. It could be cool.
Yeah, that's why it's so good.
It really could have been cool, but it's so bad.
It's so cool. Just don't think at all.
Yeah, no, I can't agree with that.
Okay,
Damn.
I tried. Fine, lock them in.
Okay. That makes our top 3 games for Kino, brought to you by Spam, 13 Sentinels, Doom Eternal, and Xenoblade Chronicles. This is an important category that everyone knows what it means, and it's important.
Yeah, it's definitely the most important.
It's not like we spent less time on that than dumb chicken nuggets.
Yeah, we do. We'll do that with any subject compared to food.
You know, Ian was right to make a food podcast. I fucked up by doing video games. I'm gonna copy and paste this shit out of here. Oh, fuck this mouse. This mouse is a nightmare. Bob, why have I not gotten a new mouse and a new desk?
I don't know.
Why am I like this?
Because you're an idiot.
Next category might have a similar energy.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh, indeed.
I don't look.
Worst character of 2020. This is a really good category. The candidates are Cracked Out Murder Grandpa, Grandma from Ghost of Tsushima, Ellie from The Last of Us Part 2, Pete Buttigieg from Yakuza Like a Dragon. Weird that they used his exact name.
Right?
Racist Dolphin from Bleeding Edge. Tetsuya Ida from 13 Sentinels. The Tinkerer from Ghost... Wait, no. Spider-Man Miles Morales.
How could you lie to me?
And Tommy from The Last of Us Part 2. Gentlemen, I'll allow 3 nominations. If you're not feeling it, don't force it. I'm going to let Phil go first on this one.
Okay, first I'm going to nominate Pete Buttigieg, like from Yakuza Like a Dragon.
Okay. Why'd they name him Pete Buttigieg?
I've been waiting this entire time.
They
for
did
this.
not. I'll say his real name. His real name is Sota Kume. But he works for a non-profit organization called Bleach Japan, which in theory is supposed to be clearing out the gray areas. So like getting rid of like brothels that are grandfathered in and can't be, shut down. Places that exist in the gray legal area. And basically all he does is fuck with you in the most pitiful ways, which is like, I'm going to provoke you into shoving me so I can lynch you with my mob. And then you just beat the shit out of all of them because it's a Yakuza game and he runs away seething.
Okay. All right.
Then later you find out that he only joined Bleach Japan to hit on women. Then you find out he's wild. He is running for the Diet, like the Japanese equivalent of Congress, because the person above him, who is also like a major character in this, just wants to prove even somebody as obviously pathetic and incompetent as him can be elected if supported by him. And he looks like this.
That's a real villain.
I'm trying to remember who his English voice actor is because I remember it being really bad. Oh, it's Zach Aguilar, so it's Byleth. Zach
the
Aguilar.
scourge on this planet, male Byleth.
Zach Aguilar does a lot of really fucking pathetic, like, voices. I don't know why. It's good. Oh, he's also Kentaro Miura in 13.
Of course. Okay.
But yeah, a lot of pathetic characters like like the little simp character in the Somnium Files is also Zach.
Ugh.
But yeah, that's my first vote.
Okay.
My second vote is going to be for Tommy because Tommy is just the worst character in that game.
Okay. How?
One, he's just completely different from the first game, and they don't take any time to try and explain why. Like, you get no perspective on why he suddenly became insane.
Oh, his brother died.
Okay, sell me on it. I can buy your brother died and you want revenge. There's like a power gap between I want revenge because my brother died, and especially when specifically in the first game he's like, my brother is a piece of shit who killed people needlessly. If he ever dies, he has it coming.
They couldn't do it, Phil. Fucking Tommy's only in 4 cutscenes in this game.
Yeah, maybe that shouldn't have been the fucking case. Maybe he should have been in a little bit more of the game. So fucking whatever.
He's in 4 cutscenes. 2 of them are him telling someone to kill someone.
Maybe fucking Neil Druckmann shouldn't have done his Last Jedi thing, where he focuses on all the wrong characters. And the last one, Tetsuya Ida, because he's such an enormous piece of shit.
Yes, he is. I guess we're heading back into actual spoilers. Well, this podcast made 40 minutes without spoiling 13 Sentinels. Let's do it.
Ida did nothing wrong.
He did a lot wrong.
Except want to fuck a 16-year-old girl when he's like 28.
Whatever, it's the future.
Man, KZ has really optimistic like thoughts on the libertarian part. KZ's like, fight for 15. That's about age of consent, right?
Oh my God.
Only in the year 2400.
2188.
Oh shit, that was a lot fucking sooner than I thought. Never mind, I take it back.
Jesus Christ. There is that, and then there's the extra layers of like, well, she sure would be problematic if I just fucking started over again. I could save myself some fucking trouble if I just load a save state.
Yeah, I just imagine him being like, oh, fuck, she's mad at me because I forgot her birthday. Better start over. And it turns like the nuclear key.
Yep.
Oh, I fucking dropped the glass she liked. Better start over. It just turns the key.
Yep.
Women, am I right?
It's like,
What a piece of
women be shopping, I guess. And then he turns the key.
God.
He's like Fred Flintstone given the key. She complained about me going bowling again. Turns the key.
I told her it was a Winston break, and she didn't listen, so I turned the key.
God.
Hey, Bob.
Hey.
We're going to go to you next for worst character of 2020.
All right. Ellie.
Okay.
Why?
Let's talk about it.
The game focuses on her for an insanely long amount of time. Every time she makes the decision, it seems like obviously bad and evil, and the game never addresses that, and as always views her as in the right, even though what she's doing is clearly awful. And she's very like self-confident in it, and it only feels bad when she has to torture someone, and then she has to control her cry on. She's fine. She's really terrible, just constantly.
Yes. She literally goes on a murder rampage to avenge one death, and only feels bad once she starts torturing a person. It's like, you're the one doing the torturing.
Yeah, you.
This is like a sympathy piece for people in Nazi Germany in the Nazi party torturing people. I'm not about to sit here and feel bad for you, person who's doing the torturing.
Yeah, it's rough, and that she.
Because here's the
she
thing,
fully
right?
knows like how bad Joel is, and we kind of like, if the audience is smart at all, they've gathered that well before the game does the big reveal of her knowing.
Yeah, the big reveal of her knowing comes so late that it's like, yeah, we know she knows.
This is the moment you're supposed to turn on her.
It's like, no, that happened 2 hours in.
Yeah,
Yeah. I that was like 3 murders ago. Like, I don't know what you're talking.
I mean, this is even after the people who came to kill Joel spare her, and she knows that they've spared her, and that they were only after her, that one guy. She's like, okay, I'm gonna go across the country killing everyone.
Yes.
I will kill everyone in the city.
Yeah.
And that's
She
my
wanted
justice.
she wanted to hang out on the really inconsistent open world level
Yes. She wanted to
with
hang
the really useful map that you can't use after 5 minutes.
It's a very smart game. Okay.
Here's the thing. Normally when you have a character like that, right,
Uh-huh.
who's on a murder rampage, it's not for revenge, it's to save someone.
Right.
And there's anything at all to be said for that. Any slight modicum of thing. A giant enemy army has someone you love. They're still alive. You have to get to them. Okay? That would give any merit. Joel's already dead. He was killed because he murdered a shitload of people.
And most of the people she kills have nothing to do with that.
I
Like
know.
Like, that's the other worst part, where it's like you're just killing random people who work for the same organization with no even thought to, did they have anything to do with this event?
Yeah, they had no idea.
it's crazy.
Yeah.
And the whole game views it as not being crazy, and that's what makes it even worse. Next worst character, Tommy.
All right, can you please explain to me why you think this way?
All the same reasons.
Honestly,
Oh, okay.
that scene where he comes to the farmhouse to essentially nag Ellie that she isn't going across the zombie-infested country to kill someone they thought they found, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that was
That scene
was really
made me
rough.
physically nauseous to watch.
Yeah.
And not
it's
because
terrible.
I was gripped by drama, but because it was revoltingly stupid.
Yeah, it's amazing how often this game didn't think about there's a zombie apocalypse and we have better things to do.
I know your girlfriend's baby is going to grow up in a world where her father was murdered for no fault of his own.
Basically because of you.
Basically because of you and me. But hey,
And
you should get back to
I
it.
know you have a lot on your plate with like your loveless relationship that feels like it's sort of going based on momentum and because you think it should, rather than any actual romance.
As you struggle through PTSD. But hey,
But you got to go kill that buff chick. She killed the guy that I acknowledged multiple times was a horrible murderer.
Yeah, the last game we weren't even sure we would let him join our town, but here we are. Yeah,
We will get, this game is filled with stupid fucking flashbacks. We will get none about how spending time with my brother might have changed my opinion. I'm barely going to be in this game and only show up to ruin things.
I'm retroactively adding Abby to best character. I think she makes a great role model. She shows that if you're goal oriented, you can become ripped as shit and get revenge.
Yeah, you know, this is like a Sony games seem to have this real problem of telling you that revenge is bad by having the person who successfully got their revenge mellow out and become cool.
That's most narratives.
Yeah.
I feel like we're really bad about it as like humans. How many narratives we do where we're just like, revenge is terrible. Sure, that guy who got revenge feels great and he's starting to get better every day. Like, look at Abby. She gets revenge and she's like, you're right, guys. I'm sorry that I let it consume me. We should go live a normal life now. And everything would have been perfectly fine
And
if
then
not
she's
for
like,
Ellie.
oh, look, those people are in trouble. Well, I've gotten my revenge and I'm therefore a normal person now. I'll help them.
Exactly.
God. It is really rough.
She just starts donating to charity. She starts helping people with their housing projects. She decides that she's a piece of shit and maybe shouldn't be around other people because it'll endanger. She gets it. She starts getting it.
And then, Kratos gets revenge and he's like, and a guy is hitting him and he's like, sir, please leave.
Exactly. But yeah, Abby, definitely retroactively in the best character category. Shame she didn't win.
I'm sure someone would have voted for her.
I might have. I don't know. Let me go see what I voted for. Oh, no, I can't. That's not in the spreadsheet because that's an insane amount of detail to store. Damn it.
Right.
Bob, I got great news.
Uh-huh.
It is impossible for you to pick another The Last of Us 2 character.
Yeah.
Write-ins are eligible.
Oh my god.
Oh, shit.
Nobody, I don't think there's, like, first of all,
Dina,
there's barely...
she had that line where she compared the zombie apocalypse to the Holocaust.
I mean, Dina has some bad stuff for sure, but I don't feel like doing that.
I literally just don't even want to talk about that line anymore.
Yeah, that line is really bad.
I feel like it deserved to be brought up at least once during Game of the Year. It was an important part of the year.
Let's also bring up, that's not justice. If they die without me doing it.
That's all I could think about while Bob was talking about Ellie. I was like, God, that line.
You're right. That's all I could think about because I made that supercut of my stream of it where Phil is watching the stream version, so he's 5 seconds behind, so you just hear dead silence.
Yeah.
And I guess my third one will be Tetsuya Ida. because we've been over it.
Yep.
But the dolphin.
He does some really questionable stuff. Not great.
No. Not great.
Not great.
Okay. We're gonna go to KZ.
If I had to pick like my number one on here, Tommy, it's real bad. Like,
Imagine he's the protagonist.
their plan goes so badly, and you're in the last 10% of that game, and he walks in, and the justification is like, okay, I found a hint, and I'm bitter. I want you to go take care of it because I can't, because I'm crippled, because I was shot in the face. I should have died. But then there's the other part of your brain that goes, oh, they just wrote it like this because they wrote themselves in a corner where this game can't end now.
Yeah, they really.
It's like we.
If we write Ellie being hesitant for 1 second and then smash cut to her going across the country, it'll make sense.
No, that's not at all what I was getting at. It was the thing of like, we can't end like this. This seems anticlimactic. With she loses. There needs to be some dramatic like last thing, and we need to close out. We can't just like show this is what happened to Abby and then the game's over. It was just bad. He seems like the most insane like psychopath, where it's like you could see potentially Ellie making correct choices or acceptable choices, but then he's like, hey, you do that thing that I'm not gonna do. And I'm gonna get mad at you because you don't want to do it. And I was just like, this is insane. This is the worst.
If he literally didn't do what he did at the beginning of the game, right? Where he just storms off immediately after having the conversation with everyone else, where he goes, yeah, don't go out there. That would be bad. If he hadn't done that, I would entertain that maybe, just maybe, they're trying to write like, he's literally damaged now. He literally has problems. He was shot.
That bullet gave him brain damage.
Right. They shot him in the fucking face. But no, he's unhinged from the get.
Yeah.
Like, he's clearly just going in a completely reckless manner all by himself. One argues he didn't even have a goal. He just went to kill to feel better. Because he doesn't know who actually did it. He's just there and he's murdering people. That's it.
And now there's no point anymore. It's like halfway across the country.
Yeah. I mean,
it doesn't fucking matter anymore.
And it's fucking nuts because his goddamn wife left him. Yeah, what a piece of shit.
Did she leave him?
Yeah. Tommy's wife leaves
there?
her.
Wasn't she right there at the farmhouse?
Tommy's wife leaves Tommy.
Yeah. Doesn't she show up at the farmhouse? Like, you guys can still come back to town. You don't have to live out here in the farmhouse. And then Tommy drunkenly stumbles in to tell them about revenge.
No, she wasn't there at all.
I think those are two different scenes.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
I think they had a letter from her where they talk about she's welcoming us back into town. Yeah, that's the thing. He's completely broken as a person and even more unhinged near the end. Yeah, Tommy sucks.
Yeah, real rough.
God. And to think they killed every one of Abby's friends, but it's like, no, she still needs to die. I still didn't get it. I didn't get enough.
It's fucking insane. I was struggling to not pick Ellie for one of these, but I'm going to.
Okay.
She's real bad the whole time. The way she's written just feels like this is not the same character. I'm open to characters changing over time. No, there's a limit to that, and also the fact that I like to think they assume that they successfully wrote a final battle situation and then she stops trying to kill her for the last second and just gives up. And that they wrote that in such a way that you're like, I get it. It worked. No.
Yeah,
It just sounds like this character's irrational and has been given no reason to change themselves at all.
Oh, but KZ, don't you get it? Abby bit off Ellie's fingers, so she can't play the guitar. So now her quest for revenge that was definitely very well written. It took away her ability to connect to Joel's memory even. It's very Kino, right?
I was just thinking about when that moment happened where she does not kill Abby because a flash appears of Joel sitting down and she remembers their last conversation that they play at the end. My brain immediately remember, I'm like, this reminds me of some another fight that was stopped short. And I was just thinking of that fight in The Rise of Skywalker and how that was so much better implemented.
Thinking of. I was like, and then Harrison Ford appears in Joel's memories. Appears in Ellie's memories.
He appears and goes, I'm really cool. And Joel's like, yeah, dude.
Yeah, I was just thinking of that fucking Princess Leia Kylo Ren thing that happens. And I'm like, somehow that's better written, set up, and executed than this. And they barely did anything with that. This, they did nothing. They did nothing, and it also wraps itself in the, we're going to tell the story out of order. Here's the E3 trailer. You had to play 80% of this game to see it.
95%
of this game to see it. It is the... I even checked your stream afterward, after I saw mine. Just... We're all dumbfounded whenever it just starts playing. You're like, oh my god!
I forgot that was at the end.
Yeah, at some level, part of you rationalizes, well, I guess they cut that, and that since we saw it in the marketing, it's canon because they clearly referenced that event.
Yeah, that's the one of the first things I said, because they immediately go, after that night where you kissed her. I'm like, oh yeah, that was in the E3 thing. I guess they decided to just not put it in the final game.
Yeah,
or we'll see it very, very soon.
Like, you could... All the context you needed for that scene was in the game. You didn't need to see the scene, so...
Yeah.
They didn't have to do it.
In fact, if they hadn't put that in the game, that might have been one of the more clever things they did.
Right.
Of not putting that in the game because it existed in marketing material and there's enough stuff in-game where it's canon, right? That's a level of storytelling you don't get at all. Because it's wasteful.
Yeah. You don't necessarily even need it because you understand. They're clearly into each other. At least they're working something out there. You spend an entire section with that. That that one dude did something bad because talking about saying bigot sandwich.
Mm-hmm.
But it's bad across the board. They don't do a good job of making it believable that she finally stops at the last second. Just regardless of whatever's happening, it's just they don't sell it when she fairly easily kills all of these other characters. The fact that she just stops there just feels like that's where you wanted to end, but you didn't do enough to make me believe in it. And I'm just like, just kill her. I don't want her to die.
Yeah, no, that's the last thing I want.
But please commit.
The funny thing is they admitted they spent most of development with her killing Abby at the end.
Did they?
Yeah, they changed that pretty late in development.
They should have done the Kino thing where you just you hit a button to pick which one you want.
I mean, I think the thing I would have been most okay
just so they
with
can see it ends up being like an 80-20 split. People playing as Abby, just crushing her.
That would have been funny.
I thought you were going to say you get a choice whether or not to kill her or not kill her, not who kills who.
Right?
Yeah, it's a square off and you press the button of which character you are. And it's like, yeah, this bitch has been starving for 12 days, but yeah, she still has this.
It's funny because you can tell Abby's so over the shit. She has been...
Go away.
Yeah, she's lost all muscle mass.
He was a piece of shit. Just go.
You know what would have been cool?
What?
If they literally had that conversation. that legitimately would have been awesome.
You know what fucks me up? I've never considered it.
Yeah, no, because the way that games tells its story, you never consider for a moment that they would legitimately, on that beach, have that conversation where Abby just goes, why? Why are you doing this?
Yeah,
He's such a piece of garbage. Everyone I loved is dead, except for this one guy. That's complicated. Not going to talk about it. Why do you need to kill
Never
me?
at one point. Just never at any point did I consider it's like, oh yeah. Yeah, man. This is like the worst games in media that have the characters don't talk to each other, so bad things happen.
Yeah.
But this is like even worse than that, where it's like not even at all.
Because that's
not even to the point where the person watching it even expects it.
Yeah. Like
they don't talk to each other ever, even though they confront each other a lot throughout the game.
And at that point, that seems like the most likely thing Abby would do. She's just so completely over it. She doesn't want to fight her. Why wouldn't she just explain and try to connect and try to de-escalate at all through words? Or at least vent, right?
Uh-huh.
Because it's clear Ellie has some issues and is not going to get to the conclusion on her own. She
would have done
it
collect
8 hours sooner.
I think the collective amount of words that Ellie says directed at Abby in that game might be like 25.
Yeah. And most of them are doing that fight in the theater.
Yeah, just yelling at each other.
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest. I was assuming at least half of them are begging for someone not to die in the two situations where she gets fucked up.
God.
Yeah. All right. Let me get out of here. Let me dig my way out of there. I'm gonna be honest here. There's only one of the things in here that straight up says racist on it, so I'm gonna have to pick racist dolphin from Bleeding Edge.
Now I have a question. This is a complicated ethical question.
Sure.
If the dolphin's voiced by a Japanese person, is it still a racist caricature?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. For anyone who doesn't know, what is the name of
Yeah,
this
please.
character from Bleeding Edge? Mako?
That sounds right, but I don't know.
Oh my god. It's a dolphin though, and not a whale.
Mekko. Mekko.
Because he's in a mech.
You know
Bleeding Bleeding Edge is so bad, but somehow is still not one of the worst games of the year.
I'm just putting this fucking picture in here because
No.
that is
God.
that is such a bad character design.
All right, let me click on to Discord so that I can see this.
It's just what about a dolphin in a fucking neck? That's a fish globe? Like
I'm honestly surprised they didn't give him like racistly Asian eyes.
that's
the level I expected.
I feel like at some point even they know to pull back.
Hey, if they got licensed music, they put turning Japanese in that game.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of the developers behind that. I think a lot of the character designs, especially in Heavenly Sword and some of their other games, are really, really gross. And the DMC has some of the worst treatment of humanity possible.
And my time.
So I'm going to put Dolphin for Bleeding Edge under KZ's.
Yes. I mean, it said racist dolphin on it, so I had to pick it.
You know what? I'll just put Racist Dolphin. There we go.
There we go.
There we go.
Dan, how many Last of Us 2 characters would you like?
I've been thinking if there is a third, and honestly, there isn't, because anyone who says Abby belongs on this list is wrong.
Yeah, Abby didn't do nothing.
Abby did one
Kill a
thing.
guy.
She did it well, and she might have had a shitty relationship with a guy, but that is completely ancillary to the main point here.
Speaking of, you can totally pick that dipshit.
I have no problem with that dipshit.
Oh, okay.
He's got some infidelity issues, clearly. He's got some hangups, clearly. That doesn't make him a great person, but he doesn't step to this list.
This isn't purely who's the worst person. It's also who infuriates us to even see.
Yeah, which is why Ellie's my top pick.
You know who the funniest character is though? The leader of that military group that you forget is in the game.
Holy shit.
God, yeah.
Until he shows up and is like, purge them.
Remember, fucking Abby goes back to the base and it's like, here's the hardcore dude, and then he disappears for the next 80% of the game, then shows up to die.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
if this was just an Abby game, I think it's a million times better. even if you keep the total plot of it the same, if you don't explain Ellie or the events that happened before the game for Abby where she went off and killed Joel, the very beginning of the game, I think this game goes up multiple points for me.
Yeah, I think if people were struck with the realization late in
That Ellie's insane.
Yeah, that Abby had killed Joel, and that Ellie is the spooky monster who's killing all these characters. You don't get to see her. Then I think
you should have played.
Yeah,
You should have played as Abby first, and then gotten the moment of the person killing all your friends is Ellie.
right.
Yeah, and then
That's
people would
impactful.
understand what Ellie is, and there wouldn't be this weird Abby's monster narrative that the fan base has.
Like, you never see Ellie from Abby's perspective.
Not really, no.
You see Abby from Ellie's perspective a lot. You never see Ellie from Abby's perspective, so you don't see this fucking psycho woman won't go away.
Spindly murder goblin.
Yeah, she's murdered everyone in our hospital.
Yeah, Jesus.
Yeah,
the game you propose, the story you propose, would lead to one of the cool moments, or one of the more interesting moments in the game, hitting more, which is when you return to that aquarium again as Abby after everything's real bad, and the general atmosphere there's really good.
Yeah.
But 10 hours ago, you know what you already did, so it has almost no impact.
Right.
But if it was your first time going through that and you didn't know the level of how bad things went in here.
This is literally so clearly the crucial problem of the game that I would love to do a Let's Play.
where you you do editing magic.
I load up this chapter, I play this, I load up that chapter, I play that, and then everyone gets to go, oh wow, this is better. This game should have had an editor.
When I was doing the Abby part of the game's story, and there was interactions, we're learning about her fear of heights, hanging out with the kid whose name I have forgotten.
Yeah, I've forgotten too.
Unfortunate. Who was fine.
Yeah.
And there's decent chemistry going on. And I said, this feels like? And you're like, what? And I was like, it feels like a Last of Us game. And you kind of crumbled in your chair.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's true.
Where it's like, there it is.
That's the core of what you like these games for.
It's like, this is the what you wanted, a new Last of Us game. Or you didn't want this at all.
Right.
But if they're making another one of these.
I mean, to be fair, if they announced The Last of Us Part 2, right, and it featured just Abby and the friends she picks up along the way, and that's all was in the marketing material, that actually would have had me way more interested from the get. But
I would have immediately went, that's incredibly smart. It's what I think a lot of these special things that have an amazing story should do, where they're like, yeah, it'll be an anthology thing.
Yeah, it's another story.
It won't be building the straight lore timeline for one chunk.
I'm even okay with that. It just didn't need to be the same characters, because in order to write a plot around the same characters, they did what they did, and I'm not a fan of it. But anyway, yeah, Ellie's my top pick. I've said countless times how much I do not like Ellie in that game. It isn't even
I don't like she's always angry on the covers, and I hate that.
That's funny as hell to me. But because it transparently conveys the core of the game, right? The game's about the cycle of violence. The cover of it is Ellie making a murder face where she's super fucking pissed. It's
again,
that's the game.
as I told you it's like they did that first trailer years ago, and I'm like, every news site's going to use this picture of her angry. I can't wait for this game to appear again, for the marketing to have something that isn't just that. And then they decided to fuck me.
Second place, I'm going to give it to Tetsuya Ida. He's fucking human garbage. Tommy takes third. Sorry. Tetsuya Ida is fucking trash, but at least I don't goddamn hate him like I do Ellie.
Congratulations to Crackdown Murder Grandma and the Tinkerer from Spider-Man Miles Morales for dodging any vote.
I almost voted for the Tinker instead of Tetsuya, honestly, just because her character is really poorly written. And it's not even like she's a terrible person. It's just, oh man, this is rough and dumb.
Yeah.
Yeah, but even then, I'd rate her like a 5.5 or like a 6.
Besides, cracked out murder grandma is clearly a blessing. I don't know what's wrong with you guys. Ghost of Tsushima's got many, many great cracked out murder people.
That segment where this woman, who it's like you need to help her get revenge, you have to help her find her dead family, and then you have a chapter where it's like, we're gonna go in, we're gonna grab this person, get the information out of him right now. Don't try to kill them. Okay. 20 seconds later, we're on the horse like, you don't control me, I might kill him. And then you have to fight her in that same mission, and I'm like, this is the most insane thing I've ever seen.
Look, sometimes she just, she has to get revenge.
You know how it is. You just sometimes.
I like that, her loss is so much more than Ellie's was. Her loss makes it feel justified at all, which is crazy.
Yeah, it's funny. I can believe her conclusion.
Yeah, I don't know. There was something delightful about both Murder Grandpa and Murder Grandma that you go around with.
Oh yeah, there are aspects that are incredibly delightful. Like after you fight her and you finish, it's like, don't try to do that again against me. It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, no, that was fucking hilarious. It's like, no.
It's do not try to kill me again. She's like, don't worry about it. The E3 demo's over.
Okay, guys. So Tommy, by sheer votes, is number one, leaving second tied between Ellie and Tetsuya Ida. So I guess we need to do a 1-vote split on those, on Ellie and Tetsuya Ida, for which one's worse. Okay.
Okay.
We'll start with Feel.
Ellie.
Bob.
Ellie.
KZ.
Ellie.
Oh my god, it's unanimous. Okay. Ellie won.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, Tetsuya Ida works in a video game as the character.
Ida has a character with layers to him.
Yeah, there's any form of humanity you can see in him and appreciate in him, despite the fact he is trying to make himself feel whole again in the worst fucking way imaginable.
Right. There's some part of me that wants things to work out for him somehow, even if he's terrible.
I understand you as a character, and I am not repulsed having to listen to you.
Okay.
Like, oh great, another fucking Ida cutscene. I'm like, okay, what's gonna happen?
Yeah.
What are we doing this week?
So, how does this list sit with everyone? Tommy is the worst character of 2020, followed by Ellie and Tetsuya Ida. Does that sound good to everyone? I think that sounds correct.
Yeah, that sounds fine. I think Ellie's worse, but Tommy is less developed in a character, which makes him worse in some regards. So, yeah, I'm fine with
Tommy's only like a barely human-shaped thing. So it's worse.
I can live with Tommy being on top because Ellie is right there in second.
You're right.
I can live with that. I would make arguments that Ellie's worse, but I'm okay with Tommy taking it.
It's always the fact that she had a chance to maybe just like finally stop the game, and someone just came in and fucking like no, literally comes in and just tries to throw gasoline.
Yeah,
and successfully does that. So long as we put in the fact that it's like our top two are terrible characters and terribly written, and the one below it is written with any level of class nuance or skill.
Right. It's a developed character. It's just a piece of shit.
Right. Yeah. It's like, just so you know, we don't think all of these are terribly written. Only two of them.
Completely different kinds of worst character.
Even racist dolphins got some good writing too. I'm so happy we found an opportunity to talk about The Last of Us 2 on our Game of the Year podcast.
Because that isn't going to be anywhere else.
Right.
Yeah. We needed a place to really dig deep on that game that came out. And that may, in fact, mysteriously disappear from all normal video game discussions forever.
Okay. Next category. Most insane interview.
Speaking of insanely written things that happened.
Uh-huh.
What a good year for these.
I'm sure we have a nice balance across the board of, insane interviews from all different publishers, developers, and people.
I think we have two different publishers.
I think we have two different publishers, and half of this is fueled by what happens when you give a game that's like, kind of neat, a shitload of attention because nothing's ready for Summer Games Fest. So I guess let's talk about it. The candidates are alphabetizing. The Medium interview. Does anyone know which one this is referring to?
This is the
yeah.
This is
You can
the
get it.
one after the first big Xbox event of the year where they're like,
so the May event.
Yes, what can you tell us about your Xbox Series X features? And they're like, oh, we're not talking about that.
And they disconnect from the call.
It was really weird.
Do you have any next-gen features you want to talk about? No. This, for people who remember, this was the inside Xbox that they said was the Xbox Series X gameplay reveal.
Which had basically no gameplay.
And then they also heavily advertised Assassin's Creed Valhalla stuff with it, and all they showed was in-engine cutscenes.
Yeah. Metal Hellsinger, quote, is the person playing ... good at the game?
Or does the game play itself?
Yes. The very good IGN question.
That was insane and really set the bar for the Summer Games Fest, I feel.
That was in the first 20 minutes of Summer Games, or the fucking IGN Summer of Gaming.
Summer of
part.
Gaming, there we go. Yeah.
And
Yeah, it was it really established what would happen in an E3 vacuum.
Yeah. Oh, no. We saw a dark future.
Yes. Metal Hellsinger COVID interview featuring Troy Baker.
See, I missed this, and when you recounted it to me, I almost died.
Yeah, Bob, would you like to...
Sure. This Metal Hellsinger review is between the director of the game and
Okay.
Troy Baker.
Which is really weird because Troy Baker isn't a journalist.
No, he's a voice for the main character or something.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Or
All
no,
right.
the skull the main character holds.
Yes.
But in this interview, they get into hopefully the vaccine comes out along with this game so you can get it like a special edition with the COVID vaccine.
Oh yeah, hopefully the special edition will come with the cure.
Yeah, it'll save your life.
Did the director say that or Troy Baker?
I can't even remember how it breaks down anymore because it was so
The way
quickly
you told
back and
me
forth.
initially was Troy Baker said that.
Okay, it probably was Troy Baker.
This really is most insane interview. Phil Spencer telling you that he doesn't intend to hit you, but he could, so you should be grateful that he doesn't hit you.
Which one is that? He did that 5 times.
I think... Go ahead,
That's
Phil.
specifically the Bethesda one where it's like, we don't want to take away games from other platforms. We just want, and then he goes on and on and on with saying, we don't want to take away games, but we might, but we don't want to, but that's not our intention, but we might. So we don't intend to, so you should be grateful.
Yeah, it was a really weird tone and insanely rambly, just like Phil portrayed just then. Like it was a little unhinged and also all of that. So that was a very bizarre interview.
Okay. I think I found it. I found the quote
God help
that
us.
you fucking put in. I had to dig through our Big Think channel. Here's a sentence. I don't think it's healthy where for every first-party game that comes out, I have to get this question. Is that coming to Switch? Is that coming to Switch? And it's not because, I love Nintendo and our relationship with what we're doing, that they want us to be all in or not, and there's an expectation from customers like there's now on PC, where people don't really question hyphen. There might be some timing things, on when certain things happen, hyphen, but if we're shipping a first-party game, it's coming to PC.
I think there is one, like, this is a direct question about Bethesda.
Right. So that's another insane interview. I don't think it's the same insane interview.
Yeah.
Okay. That was one from October that was just really funny. Good, better, first, best.
Yes. First, better, or best, which doesn't make sense because best is just better than better. So who's choosing better? I don't know. Okay. And
then IGN show literally said, which one of those do you prefer?
Yeah, IGN's poll of, do you prefer better or best?
God.
It's like, IGN, do you prefer thinking?
Do you prefer if I hit you or I hit you?
Or talk about how I can hit you at any point in time. That's not scary. And the final nomination, this one needs to take this, in my opinion. Xbox interviewed itself in the Xbox virtual press briefing that leaked, where they talked to themselves about how incredible they are making the Xbox Series S.
For the Generation Scarlet.
Dan?
Yeah.
No. Almost very... I can't think of many podcasts that would have even have talked about this leaked interview, but I can think of none that would ever mention it a week past its airing. We're brave.
Yeah, because we're supposed to forget insane shit that companies do like this. But no, it's
it comes off as like an infomercial made by them for themselves.
No, it's duller than that.
Yes.
And then one of the marketing people started malding, saying, they hacked us.
Yeah, it's actually the main person in the video. She does, I think, every interview. Cindy Walker, the senior director of Xbox platform marketing, she got really upset that this got out there and said it ruined their announcement. And I'm like, if you had posted this at all, ever, that would have ruined your announcement. It leaking lowers the volume on it. Because you just announce the Series S and then just move on. The amount of pomp in this, and it's like 40 minutes, I think.
Oh my God.
It's insane. It just keeps going. It really does remind me of Sony in their height of their hubris. It really reminds me of that.
Which is weird because Xbox isn't doing well.
Oh God. Come on, man. You're going to punch me with that right now.
What like Sony and it's like PS3, like, you know, like fucking get 2 jobs or whatever. It's like the PS2 selling great.
Yeah, it sold like 90 million by then.
Xbox stopped showing you numbers in November of 2014.
Look, they gotta fake it till they make it, okay, Casey?
Oh my God.
That's the exact thing that they're doing.
They're right. I'm considering buying an Xbox Series X. I heard they're pretty good.
For people who don't have my exact IP address, apparently it's fine.
It works, it just doesn't have any new games, which is fine, I guess.
Hey man, at least if it worked, I could play Yakuza 7, which was my plan.
Yeah.
But I can't even do that now. But yeah, this interview thing is insane, and I can see why they're upset it got out. Apparently, what they're saying after it leaked was that they only intended to send that to journalists, which doesn't make it any less insane to me.
Why?
I don't.
Why do even journalists?
I don't
need it?
know. It's a really weird way to try to control messaging. But normally when you do that, you do it to the public, not to journalists. Normally when you try to control the messaging, you do that directly to the public. Or you do both. It's very strange. Very, very strange. Anyway, if you want to have a trip, just look that up. It's at one point they mess up the name of the console.
But it's not a problem.
But yeah, that's an insane interview. Okay, guys, this is a tight category. There are only 5 options. We're only going to get 2 votes. That's just. I really want to give it to that Medium interview because
it is intense.
You guys got to understand, this is the end of that Xbox thing in May where they're like, hey, we showed you some great gameplay, right? Well, now we're going to hang out with the devs and talk to them about what they're bringing to the Xbox Series X versions of their games. This is now a Microsoft person, a Microsoft PR person, recording themselves via Zoom meeting, basically, and going, "Hey, what features are you going to be able to do? Because the Xbox Series X, like, what are you bringing to that? You know, how are you justifying that level of power?" And then they go, "We're not talking about that." It's just the most poured ice cold glass of water on someone's head moment ever.
Dan, let me go first.
Sure.
Medium. Now, my reasoning here,
Uh-huh.
they hype up this show. This is it. This Inside Xbox is going to be all about the Series X gameplay reveal.
Yes.
Which means the first next-gen gameplay of anything we're going to see. Assassin's Creed Valhalla, that's a big title. That's a big game. What else are they going to have? They show the medium. I think this is the first time they actually show the medium, and it looked neat. It's like, oh, it's the Silent Hill vibe, and oh, it's Series X and PC. Okay.
Yeah.
What makes the medium? You want to talk about our the next gen features of your game? No. What makes it insane? It's a Microsoft thing.
Right. And
It's this thing where it's so controlled. So it's like, this is impossible for you to drop the ball.
Yeah, that's how that's supposed to go. It's supposed to be impossible. How did it happen?
It's like no one's gonna rob me, and every door and window is open.
How did this question not get vetted to find out if they had an answer before they did it?
Or cut out in editing.
Yeah, like, this isn't live.
Like, it's like you were so focused on fucking Aaron Greenberg having a green screen fridge during this stream that you decided to make the most insane interview. But maybe they expected people weren't going to watch this part because it was like the reveals are over, so now it's the part that no one watches. Like when a press conference ends and they're like, we're bringing it to these guys. But this was bad. This is crazy.
Yeah.
I only have one other shot, and this is a nightmare. All right, so there's a lot of options here.
Two of them are Metal Hellsinger.
the Metal Hellsinger one, where I'm not picking it yet, but the Metal Hellsinger one where they go, so is the game like... But the question was supposed to be an attempt, from what I can tell, was, will the game like do worse or better in terms of performing the shooting and going through if you're doing bad versus doing good? Like how the gameplay of that changes.
Yeah, what skill ceiling, what demand on the player is there here? Is this game a very skillful game, or can a person normally pick it up and play it? Instead,
that and in general, it's like you see them going to the rhythm and they're shooting up the enemy. So if you're bad, does that mean you're just suddenly gonna like play it really badly? Like what you'll see on screen looks like them eating shit. That's what I read it as. What she said was like, so does the game just play itself? and that was maybe the roughest one there is, next to the dude going, I love video games, Yahoo Mario Wahoo. As Dan and Bob Corpse. And it was getting pretty rough over there. I just wanted to give people context of that's how bad that was. Where it's just like, this is are you kidding me? Phil Spencer telling you that he doesn't intend to hit you, but he could, so you should be grateful he doesn't hit you, gets my other vote.
Okay.
I was wondering what would happen to our spreadsheet, but thankfully it did not break.
Yeah, just barely fit in. Phil Spencer won't hit you. We're going to go to Bob.
Sure. The medium.
Okay.
We've been over it. That shouldn't have happened. That's insane to have happened.
Let me be clear. So that way no one else gets any mistakes. If I edited that video, if I at any point touched my hands on that video before it hit the internet, you bet your ass I would have cut that.
Yeah.
There's nothing but shame in the completely bizarre exchange.
Yeah. It just ends with an awkward stare. It's like, okay,
it was
what you doing?
Was somehow it was clunkier than the IGN interview that they did for Scarlet Nexus, where they kept trying to poke and prod for next gen stuff off a AA anime looking game.
Yeah. And the other one is the Xbox virtual press briefing for the Series S. That thing. If you haven't watched it, please go watch it.
Yeah,
No, I don't want to watch that.
It is fun. How bad it is it literally very enjoyable.
You don't understand. The only people who can bring you something this bizarre is Tim and Eric.
I don't even know if you can still find it.
Oh, you can. I actually linked it. If you click that thing, I have a direct link to it.
I was waiting for Dan to say, it's on my hard drive.
No comment.
I am stunned these tweets are still up. How did Microsoft...
Me too. Isn't that bizarre?
That's insane.
How do you take to Twitter to have a meltdown over how they fucked you by leaking it and also not get their tweets pulled? How do you do both? I don't understand. Also, let's contextualize this. It's September. The console comes out in 2 months, and you're upset someone leaked something that announced your console slightly early. 2 days early, 3 days early. Guys, you should have announced the Series S months ago.
Yeah, you sat on this for at least 4 months.
No, they sat on it for like 8 because Digital Foundry saw that shit.
Yeah.
It's almost like they weren't sure they were going to launch it.
Right?
It's so nuts. It's completely bizarre. What a mess. And yeah, the thing itself literally comes off as a really bad Tim and Eric skit. To me, it comes off as that. Because keep in mind, this was the first fucking time that we started hearing things referred to as the Scarlet Generation.
Yeah. And this thing, I believe, had an entire section about, hey, what kind of cool games are coming? Xbox Game Pass.
Yeah,
This had that quote, though, where they said that this power was really good for, like, next gen, but then they also said gens don't matter, but they also said it's the Scarlet Generation, where they just kept jumping back and forth. That's the only part I remember.
This
we
part
were blacking out.
No, KZ, it was specifically like, this part is worse, but you can't compare the other parts, even though I just did it with my previous sentence.
Yeah.
Also, generations don't matter. This is the Scarlet Generation.
They're like, I don't really like comparing these things. I'm going to compare the thing that's good, though.
Yeah. The whole thing is filled with nonsense like that.
Yeah. It's, as I said, it really truly reminds me of PS3 era Sony.
Get 2 jobs.
You know what? I don't think Phil Spencer will ever do that because in the States we're about to have, class warfare. But
right. Oh no! Who knows how much worse it'll be when this is out?
That is a good point. Our content ages like wine. If you appreciate wine that tells you the truth.
It ages as well as that Kid Cuisine chicken nugget I had.
Oh,
It starts terrible and maintains being terrible.
Oh man, we still have
And
some
then-
left.
and-
Maybe I should eat it.
and then squirts a weird juice into your throat.
So, hey, Phil. What are your nominations?
What's your weird juice?
Phil Spencer won't hit you
Okay.
just because it's so... Like I said, a lot of that Bethesda stuff came off as they don't know what they're doing, not in the sense of they don't have a plan or they are unaware of the ramifications of what they're doing, but in the sense of you really don't know. Like, you haven't figured out what you're going to do.
To me, it boils down to 3 layers, okay? One, if they immediately say they're not going to ship on other platforms, that's antitrust concerns. And while, we don't really bust up monopolies anymore in the United States, there's still the thought of they literally do an interview during the acquisition where they say they're going to do anti-competitive stuff. That's concerning. 2, they are weighing the strategic importance of having exclusives against making millions of dollars. Like hundreds of millions of dollars. Because PlayStation, as it is right now, matters that much.
Yeah, so I looked at the announcement because, one, they announced that they planned to buy them a day before Xbox pre-orders went up.
Yeah.
It's like that morning. Of course, that's strategic. They can't actually say what they intend to do, like, out loud. Like, it's one of those things where it's like, they've even said in interviews, we cannot say certain things. Eventually, they finally said that. But they want to keep talking about it.
Yes.
So that you remember that it's theirs now. It's theirs. And they also want that buff that people have of like, oh, they're real cool. Xbox is cool. They're not gonna fuck me. But like, it comes off as like they desperately want to keep talking about it, but they're not allowed to. So instead, we get the worst interviews on Earth over and over again. One of them is on the top of fucking the new Threats on Reset era again, where they're like, Bethesda will be very important to us. We will not say anything else or else we will be shot.
Yeah.
I'm like, just fucking say the important ones will just be on your system first.
It's really bizarre. I don't think we could have ended up with any other circumstances that led to interviews this weird.
Yeah, like I said it on a big think. Think about when it's just like think about when fucking Disney bought Fox. I didn't see 15 fucking interviews where they talked about how much they are excited about like X-Men or The Simpsons. It was like, yeah, we're adding this to the catalog if it goes through.
Yeah.
And then you had to wait like 3 months after the buyout to say, yeah, we're going to make a Fantastic Four movie.
Yeah.
Like they didn't feel the need to make 25 interviews with each person. And it's like, I don't understand.
Well, with a soft to non-existent launch lineup, they definitely need to stick a picture of Master Chief next to the Dovahkiin, so that way you know Xbox is the future home of Bethesda. So if you like Bethesda...
not Bethesda, Skyrim 2. That's what people know.
It's true, Skyrim 2.
I will die.
That'd be really funny if it's like, we're making the Elder Scrolls 6 and it's set hitting it like, what? Just make Skyrim 2.
We won't interfere unless it's just to make Skyrim 2. We'll definitely interfere for that.
And the thing is,
that'd
like,
be a funny God.
The idea is you're going to deter people who like Bethesda from feeling confident in a purchase of the PlayStation 5, which I don't know how well that's working. That thing's selling insanely based on all the information we have. The Xbox isn't. So these interviews seem insanely desperate and come from the weirdest space in gaming history, I feel.
He won't hit you.
Okay. Well, Phil, what's your next interview? It doesn't involve
Xbox virtual press briefing.
Okay.
Hello, Dan.
Hi, what's up?
Shoot him.
Yeah, I'm absolutely choosing the Xbox virtual press briefing because I can't tell you the last time the veteran Dan Video Games, who's watched every E3 forever, watched a piece of media released by a company and just sat mouth agape for most of it, of just, what the fuck are they doing? These sentences sound like riddles that all spiral down to hell.
This is fake, right?
Like that thing Phil said earlier of, generations don't matter. You can't compare hardware. I just told you how much better this is than the last Please don't compare the Series S to the One X, but new generations, they're way more powerful, but generations don't matter.
Are you running through a hedge maze right now, or?
It was like a sentence that was the the Wolfenstein-esque screensaver for Windows 95 or whatever that was. You're just watching the sentence bump around in an endless brick maze. It's nuts. It's really, once again, this is from such a weird space in gaming. We don't normally have such bizarre circumstances and contexts for things to exist in gaming in the grand scheme of things, right? The closest we ever got to this, generations are dead by the new generation. Bethesda is important to us. We won't say how. Is probably the DS third pillar talk. I think that was the last time we had such a bizarre situation where they're like, of course this is the new Game Boy. Our fucking CEO made this thing. It's stupid. And then it sold like hotcakes. And they're like, actually, the Game Boy Advance is done. This is a new thing. I'm trying to think. The medium thing is funny as hell.
Please. It's so bad. They're both very controlled Microsoft interviews that make you want to die.
At least one of them isn't Microsoft interviewing themselves. It just seemingly had no editor. What are you doing for us? Nothing. What? Why did you leave this in? Oh, God damn it. You know, it's really a composite of two different interviews, but I'm still going to count the Phil Spencer won't hit you, but he could hit you. So you should appreciate that he doesn't hit you with the whole Bethesda buyout thing, because once again, what a bizarre situation. It'll be so much nicer when the deal goes through and we're just open about what we're doing. But Microsoft seems so in flux with what they're doing. You know, some of their games come to Switch. Then Phil Spencer immediately interviews and goes, I'm really tired of people asking for stuff on the Switch. And then another game comes to the Switch. It's I want things to get sane and to calm down and for companies to be obvious in what they're doing, right? And I hope sometime by the end of 2021 we get there. Then again, by the end of 2021, Bethesda still won't have any of their games that are new on Xbox, seemingly, because of the timed exclusivity on the PS5.
Yeah, I don't think we're getting Starfield.
Yeah, and they're not shipping anything else.
Yeah, no, we're clearly not getting Starfield by the end of 2021. I would lose my mind.
Or maybe ever, now that Microsoft owns.
Stop doing
Jesus
that.
I'm sure they have a lot of
Stop
feedback.
doing that. Bad behavior. Bad.
Okay, let me...
Stop having pattern recognition about Microsoft.
But I'm a gamer!
They didn't do anything bad in the last 50 minutes. You can't blame them.
Is this correct?
Let me check. Let's see.
Medium? Oh, no, he's checking. Don't do that. You stop that. You stop that right now.
I was literally going, no, not because they bought suddenly every AAA game of Bethesda just never ever comes out. Even the ones that have been made for years and years now.
I think, you know, they're probably going to do the thing they said they would do of letting Bethesda manage things and not taking over there because they're clearly successful. So I'm not worried about
They don't have enough manpower to get enough people to every studio to ruin every game. They just don't have that power yet.
Yeah, they just have that one guy who seemingly is doing that. Never mind. I'm going to... See, this is where if I was controlling the message of GigaBoots, I would cut that part out in post. Look into it. Anyway. Okay, guys. We have a tie for first. The Xbox virtual press briefing. The 40-minute self-interview where they call things the wrong console, invent the Scarlet Generation, say generations don't matter and performance does, but don't look at numbers. And Phil Spencer won't hit you. Jesus Christ. Third place is going to go to the Medium, apparently. Congrats to the Medium on your fantastic interview.
Hey, I think that comes out by the time this is out.
I hope.
Allegedly.
Well, why do I care? I'm not going to have an Xbox by then, maybe.
That's true. And even if you did, it wouldn't work. Oh, wait,
Yeah.
actually, it's not cross-gen, so it would.
God damn it.
Okay, you know what's funny? This is coming out on the 4th Thursday. It comes out the same day.
That is pretty funny. Okay, so we need to decide who's first and who's second between Xbox virtual press briefing. I'm going to vote. Virtual press briefing. Bob?
Virtual press briefing.
KZ?
Phil Spencer won't hit you.
Mr. Feel?
This is really hard, but I'm going to vote for Xbox press briefing because Phil Spencer won't hit you is a bad interview. It's not something from another dimension where making this is okay.
Yeah, to be honest, I didn't want to pick it because I didn't want to engage with it on any level.
Yeah.
But the Phil Spencer won't hit you one is funny, and I like it.
It's one of those things where it's just an off-the-cuff interview with Phil Spencer, which he's done way too many of this last year.
It felt like there was a period where it was every week he had like 4 insane paragraphs he spit out.
Yeah. Leading up to that launch, I think it was literally every week.
It's really funny because, like, when it comes to the Sony stuff, right? Mark Cerny says, we believe in generations, which talks about fundamental features and specs, power profile-wise, that a new console should support. Then the CEO comes out and he goes, yeah, we're a strong believer in generations. Also, we have no cross-gen games. Actually, I don't even know if he says that in the same interview. That's the narrative, though, right? The narrative. He said that around the time he said we're strong believer generations around the same time that Xbox announced cross-gen, right? Like that everything's cross-gen. I guess it wasn't even that close. It was like June. Anyways, later it comes out they have cross-gen games and everyone's like, you lied to me. And I'm like, you can go through a single sentence from Phil Spencer and he can't tell what he's saying.
They can't keep up. He does 80 interviews a week.
I mean, that's true. And I'm going to be honest, like brutally honest here. I think largely people just don't care what Phil Spencer says. I think it just gets.
Yes.
I think it gets less coverage than when CEO Man of PlayStation comes out and says things about their platform.
Well, yeah, I mean that's what happens when CEO Man says like one or two things throughout the year, and Phil Spencer is there every week. It just becomes noise.
Yeah, just like their marketing this year, right? Instead of doing one super strong conference, they did two really weak ones, a bizarre virtual press briefing thing, and some marketing that makes me want to end my life. But we covered that on a different Game of the Year award.
Good. I thought we didn't for some reason, and that I just dreamt us recording that part.
Like, oh God, we're going to have to talk about the YouTube community post again.
Yes.
Okay, so GigaBoots Big Thing Game of the Year 2020 award for Most Insane Interview goes to the one Microsoft had with themselves for almost 40 minutes. Phil Spencer won't hit you, but he could. So you should appreciate that he won't. And the Medium talking about their next gen. God, how did this all end up being the same company?
There weren't many choices.
It hasn't been this insane in the industry in a very long time. Could you imagine if Nintendo did interviews this insane?
I really can't.
So why'd you choose the Nintendo Switch? We're not talking about that.
How will this game work on the go? We're not talking about that.
We're not talking about that.
The closest thing is that Doug Bowser interview where they're like, so why are you making it a limited time thing? It's special. But people are worried that they won't be able to get the game if they buy a Switch in like April. He's like, we have nothing to announce.
That's pretty bad.
People are worried.
That was an interview from like 3 weeks ago.
People are worried if, they jump out of this plane, that they don't have a parachute and that they're not going to land safely. And he's like, we have nothing to announce.
It's a strong playbook.
Jesus Christ, that's funny as shit. Okay. You know what? We're going to go positive with this. Best animal you can pet in games of 2020.
Yeah, I have to add one to this category.
Okay.
Miwako from 13 Sentinels.
Oh my God, you can pet her? What?
Yeah, it happens in one of the scenes.
I didn't remember.
Where Tomi Kisaragi, I think, like pats her on the head.
Yes, that's right. That counts.
Yeah.
That counts, and she deserved to be represented on the Game of the Year list.
I don't know if we could call her an animal. I feel like that's
Human beings are considered animals.
Okay. As long as we're extending to all humans and not just Miwako.
Yeah, she follows you around wherever you go. She wants to breed with everyone.
No, she's just really romantic and thinks all the guys are hot.
Yes.
Oh, shit. That is what you said.
All right.
Okay. So just so we're clear, if we allow this has rippling ramifications for every Game of the Year from here on out.
Okay. Sure. I don't expect to be live by then.
Okay. It's 2021. All right. Here we go. Alphabetically sorted, and I stress alphabetically. I did not design the order of these. The candidates are Cerberus from Hades, Foxes from Ghost of Tsushima, Miwako from 13 Sentinels Aegis Rim, Scampus from Neo 2, Spider-Man from Spider-Man Miles Morales.
Oh!
Yes, the cat named Spider-Man.
Yes.
It took me until now to get it.
Yep. And the dog you have to kill in The Last of Us Part 2.
Who wrote that?
Bob, I'm going to be honest. I assume it's Bob.
Yeah, I wrote all of these except for Miwako.
Bob, I'm going to be honest. That is incorrect. The dog you already killed in The Last of Us Part 2.
That is true. You kill it first.
Yeah, and then you go pet
God,
it.
fuck that game.
God.
Changing the name in the document.
It's okay. You don't pet that dog for multiple hours after you kill it, which makes it extra good.
But you have to pet it. You have to pet it after having killed it and know what you did.
Actually, I think that's one of the first things you do.
It is.
I think it literally is the next level. You just have to walk your ass out of your apartment.
They point out the dog. Oh, I'm thinking of when they make you play with the dog and like grab a toy and throw it in the aquarium.
That part where you kill the dog is the end of Ellie's part, and then it takes over for Abby for the first time in the game, except for the intro piece.
I did remember that. I just thought it was like, look at that dog. It's my favorite dog. And then it runs over. And that was it. That's what I thought. But there are a lot of layers of how bad that is. Who's going first?
It was.
There are a lot.
I think the best part is when the marketing said, no, you don't have to kill any dogs.
Yeah, they literally lied about this.
And it was the worst it's ever been, too.
I'm going to let Phil lead.
Miwako.
Okay. Any words to share other than what you already did?
She's delightful.
Mm-hmm.
And we get 2.
Mm-hmm.
Cerberus from Hades.
Okay. For the
Very
record,
good dog.
for the record, just for the sake of being transparent and the ethics of journalism, I did not pet Cerberus. So.
Whoa.
Fucked up. You need to get anywhere near close to the trophy where you have to pet him like 30 times.
I think it's only 10, but still.
Oh, see, here's the problem, Casey. It's not a trophy. It's an achievement. Those don't matter.
Soon they'll do it.
I would love for Hades to come over to the PS5. While I had no problem playing it on my PC and it looked really sharp in 4K, I would just really like it on my PS5. And man, that game looks sharp at 120 frames per second.
Yeah, I have to choose one or the other on my PC. If I can do 4K
and 120 on your console,
yeah, that'd be pretty great.
That'd be pretty tight.
Big cum.
Okay. Will, you know what? I haven't gone second once yet, so I guess I'll go. This is actually a really hard category. Not gonna vote for that dog.
He's a great dog, though.
I'm not even gonna think about that dog ever again. That's how I get through my life, Bob.
Like the game.
Okay, I've decided. I'm gonna give it to Miwako. She is important. She's a very important character in that game. Yeah, she's a great companion. It really cheers up the room.
She should have been in the best companion section.
She should have. I don't know how the fuck we didn't. 13 Sentinels.
That was before we went insane, where we hit best character. Then we broke the glass. I like that animation she does where she wags her fist and then they do the smear animation with it.
Where she's like
you hardly see that type of animation with that game.
Let's see.
I know you want to pick Scampus.
Actually, no. It's the fox from Ghost of Tsushima.
Okay.
The foxes are incredible in that game. They make fox sounds. I remember the guy who said, "Hey, you should be able to pet the fox in this game," left the company mid-development, and after he convinced them to do it and the game finally launched, he was like, "That was me." I was like, "You're fucking badass."
That was me.
What a smart fucking guy.
Yeah, the little hop they do is really great.
Yeah, they do like a front flip and a little hop, and they make the little fox sounds, and they're so good, and they're beautifully rendered, and they're so cool, and the story, playing throughout the game, you follow a lot of them in order to get to their shrines. It's great. It's great. You have a fun time with the fox.
You find that one shrine. Or you just go in and they're all dead.
Oh, God, why do you fucking... We're gonna go to Bob. Hey, Bob.
Okay. I got
Ellie
this.
was there.
Cerberus. For
Okay. Sure.
e- every time you pet this thing, there's like probably 20 to 30 unique lines that the narrator will say, and that your main character will say to the dog. It's a really good animation of him petting the dog, and it acknowledges it. Yeah, I always pet this head because the other ones will bite me.
Man, that's pretty good.
God.
Yes, it's really delightful. I think that's definitely one of the best
That
animals you can
narrator's
pet.
so good.
And the other one's Krampus. These things are very adorable. They're like these giant puffballs that are cats,
Mm-hmm.
and they have
Yes.
big cat eyes on them. And you like rub them, and they purr, and then they follow you and roll around and turn to spike balls to attack enemies.
Yeah, it's basically a cat orb.
Yes, they're very nice. They look very soft.
Okay. KZ.
Cerberus,
All right.
delightful dog. You go through Hades, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you clear those first 3 areas. And then you hit that last area, and they're like, Cerberus is guarding this hallway now. And I was like, oh no, don't make me do it. And they're like, no, now you're going to go to these side rooms and try and find food for him. And then he'll eat it, and then he'll leave. I'm like, thank God, this dog is perfect. Love good dog. Love this dog. I like a lot of these. All of them have some pretty good animal qualities. This is so fucking stupid.
Yes. I'm gonna be honest. That one nomination is dumber than the entire chicken nugget category, and I love it.
Miwako. She's great. I like many aspects of Miwako. I like that she's like a larger character, but isn't treated badly. Because I feel like I played so many like Japanese games and JRPGs where it's like this character's slightly more overweight than the other ones. We're gonna look how ugly they are and how they're.
Yeah,
just
I
a
know how
joke.
Persona exists.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh God, that's the worst one.
Which one? Which?
The Persona 4 has an incredibly fat, ugly character, and they're like, look at her, she's fat and ugly. Isn't she the worst?
Yeah,
It's fun.
for double comedy, they pair her up with the woman who's over 25 and unmarried.
We watched the Fooly Cooley sequels earlier this year. Just thought I would mention that now for no reason.
Okay, well, how do we shake out?
You know what I like about Miyuko? At no point she went, you wouldn't think I'm into fashion, but I am. And I go, why would I not think she's...
I forget.
Oh.
Dude, I spent the last minute trying to remember who was fat in Fooly Cooley sequel.
There was one in each, and one of them had that line, and the other one, the whole bit is he's just insufferable, like, hipster kid, because he wears the kilt and nothing underneath. But aside from that, his whole character is, I have to pay someone to be my girlfriend.
Oh, I remember. Okay, I remember them both now. Oh my God.
Yeah.
I just looked at our scores.
Let's see. This is quite the competition we're going to have here.
We have a tie between 2 animals.
That's sure.
Yeah, mm-hmm.
One moment. Almost done. I think that's everything. Is that right? I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tragically, no one voted for Spider-Man.
That is tragic. Maybe I would have voted for Spider-Man if the fucking outfit would goddamn work.
Oh no.
Worked on my machine.
Good for you.
Thank you, user of a technical support forum from 2008.
My favorite person who on a technical support forum is, here's my problem that you are having that you found this thread. Never mind, I fixed it.
Yeah.
See, my favorite
know,
is
right?
I PM'd you the fix.
Oh God.
Okay, that is purposely evil.
Okay. So we've got 2 ties, and both need to be resolved. Tied for first place / second is Cerberus and Miwako. Tied for third place and runner-up is Fox from Ghost of Tsushima and Scampus. Let's resolve third and runner-up first.
Mm-hmm.
Gentlemen, you get to vote once.
Yeah.
Between Fox and Scampus. Mr. Feel.
Okay.
Scampus.
Bob.
Scampus.
KZ.
Scampus. That thing helped me beat a boss.
Okay, well, I'm voting with Fox. I love the Fox, but that's fine. I'm not mad. I'm not mad. I love you, Fox.
Dude, if you saw that thing rolled, you'd vote for the fucking cat.
I'm going to be honest. I've seen that thing, and if I played that game, I'm sure I'd be more endeared to it. But man, those foxes make fox sounds, and it makes me really happy. They're so fucking adorable. Okay.
That makes sense. You played that right after The Last of Us 2. You really needed
Yes.
a lift up.
Let me tell you, they could have those basically are the cheese and wine complimentary products that fucking Sony gave us. They're like, here's your misery and your delightful vacation game, where you just get to look at these pretty trees and shit.
Rancid ass cheese.
Gosh.
Shoots a liquid when you take a bite.
Please stop.
Okay. So it's a tie between Cerberus and Miwako.
Thank you, Phil.
One can only imagine how this category would have gone without that last second
I
edition.
literally was thinking in between recording one of these, man, we never put Miwako in something. That's too bad.
I also had that fucking thought, to be honest. I was like,
I'm
she
like,
should've been
nothing else is
somewhere.
going to make sense for her to be in, so that sucks.
I resolved to add something from 13 Sentinels to this category. And I'm like, I don't think you pet BJ. There must be something. And I was like, yes, I see.
I think you could let pet Fluffy once.
Yes. You can also pet Lucky once.
Well, fuck Fluffy.
There's
He's an
literally
asshole.
a cat character, and we didn't even choose it.
Well, yeah, it's not as delightful as Miwako.
Yeah, he's kind of an asshole.
Yes, as it turns out. Okay. So, fuck. Cerberus and Miwako. We're going to start with Bob.
I'll vote for Cerberus.
Okay. KZ.
I love both of them. They're so good. They both have Cerberus. I'm not going to continue my statement.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
no, I want to make it clear. Like, I like Miwako. I feel like I don't want to disrespect her with this category.
Look, Bob, it's the only way she's going to get a Game of the Year 2020. Now it's too late. Sophia's statement was humans are animals, not high school girls are animals.
Yeah, no.
If his argument was the second one, I would have thrown it out immediately.
Everybody under 18's basically a feral goblin. I'm voting for Cerberus, by the way.
Okay, he's voting for Cerberus. Well, I'm not gonna vote because I didn't. It one doesn't even matter. Two, I didn't pet Cerberus, so
That is a critical problem.
obviously it's a de facto vote for Miwako. Not that it matters, Baka. Anyways, our lineup has come to.
What is the category?
Oh, I'm gonna read it. Best animal you can pet in 2020 video games. Winner of the category is Cerberus from Hades. Second place goes to Miwako-chan from 13 Sentinels, Aegis Rim. Third place goes to Scampus from Neo 2. And runner-up, Fox from Ghost of Tsushima. Thank you to all of our nominees. One of the first things I said about 13 Sentinels to Bob was Miwako is important. She better be plot relevant. Maybe that's because those Fully Cooley sequels just still have me pissed.
Yeah, probably.
Okay. We're taking things down a bit of a notch. That's okay. It's still going to be a good category, I think.
Sure.
Worst old game of 2020. The nominees are, in alphabetical order, Donkey Kong 64, Halo 4, Ratchet and Clank Size Matters, Too Human, Untold Legends Dark Kingdom. That's the PS3 one. And Virtue's Last Reward.
These are my favorite categories, which are old game, which means this will be the GigaBoots category. Maybe someone will throw a bone in there.
The funny thing is, I think Field played everything except for Untold Legends and
Yes, I have
Too
played
Human.
everything on this list, but Untold. No, I played Too Human.
Oh, okay. Well,
Not this year, but I played it when it came out. I bought it.
God,
$6.
I rented Too Human from a Blockbuster when it came out.
I'm gonna be honest. I played the game for 5 minutes when it came out, and I was like, I'm good. No, I'm good. Spending over 2 hours with it only made it even more insane and terrible.
Yeah.
So what are we thinking? 3 votes? It's
Yeah,
6.
3 sounds good.
Okay. I'll go. You know what? We'll let Bob start. Bob.
Sure. Too Human.
Okay.
That's genuinely one of the worst games of that gen.
Mhm.
Gen is one of the worst games worst gens in history.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, easily.
Okay.
And then the other one. There's reasons I want to vote for Halo 4, but I'll abstain.
Okay.
Same for Size Matters. So
Okay.
it's going to be Untold Legends because the camera is the worst thing.
It really. You wouldn't think a camera system could just completely ruin a game, but they found a fucking way.
What if trees were always in your way?
What if the camera is the worst and we didn't design levels to deal with it at all?
Yes.
I don't know, that Ratchet game with its race course things.
Yeah, no, that Ratchet game is true despair as well. It's very close. There was the point where during one of the mini games, I somehow got my character's speed value to be infinite, and I hit a direction and instantly warped to the other side of the map.
It was great, right?
No, it wasn't great.
Oh. Okay, you got a third nomination here.
Okay, yeah, it's Size Matters.
Okay. Control C, Control V. I give it to Too Human, Untold Legends, Dark Kingdom, and Ratchet & Clank Size Matters.
Holy shit!
It really is just so bad. I think Too Human's the worst game we've ever played for any content ever. That includes 180 Hell.
Oh,
It's such a fucking heinously terrible video game, and it had all the power of the Xbox Series X, helping it run well, load fast. Dying in that game makes you wish you died in real life. Yeah, like a minute
die
long
in the
cutscene.
game, you die in real life.
Don't you attack with the right stick?
Yes, and it doesn't feel good at all. There are games that I'm convinced did that at least in a neat way. No, not this one. This game's terrible. Moving on to Untold Legends Dark Kingdom, it stops being an RPG hack and slash like the first game, which was like a junky but enjoyable game. Like I'd probably give that game somewhere around a 7. The PS3 one's so bad, we literally knew no one who bought it. We rented it once. No one was interested in playing it all the way through. We had no idea how bad this game was going to be. I assumed it would be terrible. I didn't assume it'd be this terrible. It genuinely floored me with how bad it is, just like Ratchet & Clank Size Matters. I think in Ratchet & Clank Size Matters, there's 1/5 of a good video game. The problem is the game is nonstop mini games that are absolutely low rent, which is okay, I guess, some of the time, and a boss sequence / difficulty spike towards the end that is unheard of. It is one of the most difficult games of the entire Ratchet franchise, and it is such in a way that is, did you run out of ammo? You're done. Just go die. Only this gun can hit this enemy effectively.
Yeah, no other Ratchet game was even close to that difficulty.
Yeah. And it doesn't feel earned or good or anything.
No.
So that's my list. It's a mirror image. Bob ranked them correctly in priority 2. Because if he didn't, I would have rearranged it just to be like, no, Ratchet & Clank's worse than Untold. But no, absolutely. Untold just, man, what a bad game. We're going to go to Feel next.
Too Human.
Wonder how this category is going. Okay, go ahead.
Donkey Kong 64,
Okay.
because nothing will ever, like I watched pretty much your entire Untold Legends Dark Kingdom stream. Nothing in that game gave me the seething feeling of dread and death that you trying to climb that tower in the water level in TK64 gave me. Where it's just, no, the simplest thing in the world, the simplest platforming challenge imaginable. The game says no.
Yeah,
That fucking Cyber Shell video about Donkey Kong 64 where they're like, if you use the visor upgrade, it fucking makes the fucking game impossible.
Yeah.
yeah. I'll be honest. The DK64 gets a buff from the sounds it makes. The
Yes.
Donkey Kong.
Yes, that's the only reason it didn't show up on my list. You get that, and honestly, at some levels, you feel like you're making progress. Ratchet & Clank felt like we got thrown into purgatory.
Yeah.
Yeah, I clicked in a couple times and I just got sad watching you.
And my last vote will be Virtue's Last Reward because that game is terrible.
Okay. Man, to think I've owned that game for something like 10 years on the Vita and just haven't played it even once.
I had a great time playing that. It was a great time.
Okay. Hey, KZ, what's up?
So this one's interesting because I went through this thing a couple of years ago where I came to this realization.
Mm-hmm.
Where years ago, in this like early mid 2000s, I would hit some games where I went, this is really hard. I keep dying all the time. And then I kind of just forget about most of what I played entirely. So all I remember is it was really hard and annoying at points. And I'm like, what was it? And what were the games that headlined that I remember the most? Sonic 2006, which made me go, oh, that just means it was bad. And my brain just didn't default to the game being terrible. Now, games that have hit that for me, Too Human. I don't remember a single fucking thing about that game except the death screen. And that describes that maybe that was a problem.
Yeah, that thing's branded onto your soul.
Here's a game I owned that I remember only one aspect of it, maybe its plot, and the rest of it just being really hard. Ratchet & Clank Size Matters.
It's a shame. It seems like a winning combo, and when you first start that game, it seems really pleasant and nice and quaint and delightful.
And this last one is based on me watching you.
Okay.
I watched you do the final boss of Untold Legends Dark Kingdom, and that might be one of the most embarrassing things I've ever seen. It's like a horizontal fucking screen where the little wizard man like jumps in the foreground and the background, and watching you navigate that, I'm like, no, they have to be playing the game wrong. But I'm like, no, they're not. They're proficient.
Yeah, we technically beat that game under time, didn't we?
Yeah, I think so. We beat it faster than what most people would.
Yeah, that shit's insane. Yeah, so I'll pick that.
Okay. Well, let me tally this up. I'm pretty sure Two Humans taking this category. Who would have thought?
Yeah, what a surprise.
There are very few games we finished a stream and gone, man, that really is the worst game we've ever played. Weirdly enough, we did it
Now
3
there's a tie.
times this year.
Yeah.
And they're all on this list.
It was after we play it, and we're like, please, let us go play Rise again. You know something's wrong.
That was so rough.
This is pretty bad. That was pretty bad. God. Please, sir, can I play the masterpiece that is Rise, Son of Rome again? This Ratchet game's just too harsh. You know, the funny thing is DK64 may not be a top contender for this category because of votes, but at least DK is the subtitle of Untold Legends, so made it there in some regards. 64 and VLR. There we go. Boom. Okay, so based on votes, Two Humans taken first, but we have a tie for second/third place. Untold Legends, Dark Kingdom, and Ratchet & Clank Size Matters. I guess we get to vote. I'm going to say Dark Kingdom. Bob?
Dark Kingdom.
Okay. Feel?
Dark Kingdom, because I liked Size Matters when I played it when I was 19, and I will never look at it or think about it ever again. So that can remain pristine.
You know, here's the thing, okay? That is the exact right way to present that, and I will never be upset at you for saying that. As long as you package deal that whole statement. KZ?
Untold Legends, because Ratchet is a brand that I know.
Because I recognize the boy on the box.
Yes.
Wheaties is the best cereal. It's got an athlete.
Isn't Size Matters the one where they try to clone Ratchet?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, we forgot to mention how you spend a chunk of that game killing micro clones of Ratchet.
Yeah, there's that clip where it's like the really big, strong ones too.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that was funny.
It is funny. It is funny.
But also very dark.
But yeah. And weird because they're micro clones. But don't worry about it. So, the worst old game of 2020 is Too Human, followed up by Untold Legends, Dark Kingdom, and Ratchet & Clank Size Matters, which got in a deadlock. See what I did there? And the runners-up, Donkey Kong 64 and Virtue's Last Reward. Fuck you to all of our nominees.
Yeah. Too Human could probably win this category every year ad nauseum.
Yes.
That's it. Worst old game sponsored by Too Human.
Yeah, there we go.
Yes.
There we go. That's how we fix that category in the future.
Not friend of the show, Dennis Dyack.
That's true. There's no amount of memery
Yeah.
that'll be like, friend of the show, Dennis Dyack. No.
Don't want it.
You know what? This category is going to be quick. I like the idea of a quick category right now. Worst gaming event of 2020. The candidates are IGN Summer of Gaming, Limited Run Games, Nightmare, Guerrilla Collective, and Opening Night Live. So for people who are unfamiliar, Opening Night Live is the Jeff Keighley thing he did at the beginning of Gamescom. I figured someone in our audience wouldn't know.
They showed the extended... Remember, these are two things they showed. They showed the extended Ratchet thing, where he tried to ask them what the launch window was, and they dead dropped him. But despite that, it was a cool demo. But you have to remember, the World of Warcraft motion comic was shown at this event.
And that one worst trailer earlier in these awards ceremonies.
Yes.
Making it a highly relevant piece of data to keep in mind.
Also, Bridge Constructor Simulator featuring The Walking Dead.
Also, when we watched it right before it started, Dan said, they might show the PS5 here.
Yeah, no, there was a ton of optimism going to this event, and then it ended up being like one of the most mid events of the year. So I think that hurt a
Dan
lot.
does that shit all the time. Like when Ghost of Tsushima was finally getting its state of play, he's like, we're going to see PS5 footage here, and tried to imply it, and feels just crumpling.
God, I'm so glad we have 7 fucking years before another console.
Yeah, I don't think I could take this again in 2 years.
It's almost as bad as an election.
But at the same time, it's fun.
Yeah, but it's
nothing like
fun, so it's nothing,
like an election.
Okay, we're going to get 2 votes each. You know, we didn't put the Game Awards on here.
Yeah, I didn't think it was cursed enough to put it in
I'm going to
there.
put it on here so that way people can vote for it if they want, with the Omen Gaming PC wants gamers to give their sperm.
Ah, yes, Gamercom.
Okay, 2 votes. We'll start with KZ.
Okay, this is an easy one for me. Guerrilla Collective.
Okay.
Now, I didn't see all of this. I think I only saw 2 days of this with you guys.
Mm-hmm.
That second day that we saw, easily the worst live stream thing I've seen the entire year. To set the stage, Guerrilla Collective is the evolution of Greg Miller's Kind of Funny Game Showcase, where they're like, at the time, the idea was that PlayStation Experience wasn't doing one that year at the time. And they're like, we want a show that happens after the Game Awards that does smaller games, so we'll do that. And they did it for a couple of years. It did okay. Then they partnered up with other people, made the Guerrilla Collective. Greg Miller hosts both of these, brings it to other people, though. This second time, he comes in with a pre-recorded thing, because I know that man did not wake up at 6 a.m. on a Saturday.
Yep.
It's like, I'm going to throw it to you guys for some gameplay demos. And then they throw it to 2 men. And this was so fucking bad. They showed demos of, like, I forget. I forget the actor. I think it was like a Ron Perlman, like Western shooty game.
Yes, that's correct. You nailed it.
Yeah, they showed that, and they were dying in the tutorial, and this person's like, I don't get it. How do I do this? And then the developers on the Zoom call going, yeah, it's showing you on the screen in the tutorial.
Yeah, this is the only one where we set up a time to the person playing it dies, like, estimates for each game they started playing.
If predictions were a thing back then, it would have been psychotic. And then it reaches a fever pitch among all these bad demos when they have to play 30XX. That Mega Man X, like, roguelite.
Mm-hmm.
And they played it in co-op, and they just kept dying every 5 seconds. And the whole time it's just like, they're not entertaining. The games they brought in are a mix of, okay, that's interesting enough indie-wise, or I don't care at all. Or they presented some, like, game where you work at a job and your thing is to say no. Like, they tell you to do something, you yell no because it's, like, satisfying because you, like, work at a shitty job. And their way of presenting that game was just showing you cutscenes in the intro of that game instead of the actual thing people cared about. The whole thing just was like the worst event. Like, it just felt horrible.
Yeah.
And honestly, opening night live, because that World of Warcraft comic thing is the worst trailer of the year. And I think that was like the roughest. And I had more optimism going into it than some of these other shows. Because it was Jeff Keighley's big thing. Gamescom wanted to kind of position itself in a way as like, well, E3 isn't here, but we're doing this digital thing, so I had hopes. And there were a couple of cool games. There's some really rough parts. When we couldn't figure out what kind of trailer they were showing, and then it's like, surprise, it's a bridge simulator, but the Walking Dead characters are in it. Might have been too much for me.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I think it was like 4 hours long or something insane too. It was like, please.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah, that was severe.
Yeah, I don't like. I'm trying to dig for what they even announced beyond the like 3 things that came to mind there, and I feel like there wasn't much relevant in there at all. So I just,
Okay.
Wait, no, there was one more thing. Unknown 9 Awakening was shown. This showed like it's like some foreign looking girl. I think she might be like Indian or something. And she was running around, and they're like, it's an adventure game. And it was CG, and it was 20 seconds long, and we're like, what the fuck was that?
I'm trying to remember this game.
I remember what he was talking about, but yeah, I can't quite picture it.
It was not great. It was just nothing.
Okay.
I linked it.
We're going to go to Field next. Yeah, and I made jokes of, is this related to that Wachowski series? Because that name seems very similar.
Summer of Gaming.
Man, I forgot about that. Okay, why?
There was so much of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
It was
unending.
Like, they, instead of, like, normally E3 is what we call E3, which is just shows, is like 15 hours long at most. This had a third of the content and was 10 times as long.
Yeah, normally E3 is just like 1 week. It's 4 days. You have the conferences up
Wasn't
front.
IGN Summer of Gaming like a week, though? If that.
I thought it was longer than a week.
So many streams.
No, it was way longer.
Yeah, I thought it was like 3 weeks, and we were like, how?
If you're talking about like Jeff Keighley's like thing, that was like the whole
IGN Summer of Gaming was more than 1 week.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Let me look it up. Because I was writing the documents for when we need to watch stuff. It was a nightmare.
Because I'm looking at their event schedules: day 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then Animal
There's a
Crossing.
2-week event. That's plenty.
Okay.
I
also don't remember feel watching any of it, so I was also questioning.
I watched a lot of it with you guys. There was just so much. That Summer of Games, the Keighley thing, which encompassed months, there was just so much. That's why it was killing me. Because it's like, oh, and Microsoft and Sony aren't here at all. Not that Microsoft would fucking have anything, but
We thought they would.
Okay, you're right. It does at least deserve a vote because I remember the stream where it was me, Dan, Bob, and Eric checking out New World, the Amazon
the
MMO.
game that has to save Amazon Game Studios.
And they're describing a game that doesn't match at all what they're showing. But yeah, I'm seeing stuff that starts around the 10th of June and goes to the 30th of June.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
See, it was hard to track because there's nothing on so many of those days.
And opening night live almost entirely because of the World of Warcraft thing that was just like a vacuum.
Okay. Bob.
IGN Summer of Gaming.
Okay.
We went over how it just would never end, and it was always bad, and it was like watching a podcast from IGN, which is its own nightmare.
Yes, it is.
Because it's like, they're among the 8 personalities, they're all bad except maybe one of them.
And that
Cursed
person
Content Club, all 52 episodes of Next Gen Console Watch.
Ugh. And sometimes it would start segueing straight into an actual podcast, and we had to run.
Yeah, that was funny.
Yeah. God.
Dan,
What's up?
I'm switching out Guerrilla Collective for Summer of Gaming. I remembered one crucial part here.
Mhm.
All of the ad space that Fuser bought.
Yeah, that happened too.
It's weird. It feels like the IGN Summer of Gaming gave me some sort of contusion. Because, like, there were so many times I felt out of my element. A man who's watched E3 since 2005. I'm like, what?
It's
What's
like training at 50 times gravity.
The Fuser thing. No, it's like an enemy stand took place, and I have no idea what its effect was. Everything's just fucking weird now.
And there's something weird on Bob's back, but we can't look at it.
Yes, exactly. It has that sense of terror, too. They played the Fuser ad, and every time I looked like a confused dog.
You did.
Yeah,
You
'cause
absolutely did.
You can see this company you love, and
Yeah.
you have no idea what you're looking at.
I was like, this looks like a harmonics thing. Is this, did someone rip off what is happening? And you just see the head tilt, and the eyes go like a little dull. Yeah.
Did IGN Summer Gaming have that thing where they revealed a game and we're like, that's Dan, and then they said the character's name was Dan?
Yes.
Okay,
Wait,
that was the only bright spot.
I think that was the Summer of Gaming because, of course, it was like some dude woke up in his room and I'm like, man, this game perfectly encapsulated. And me waking up in the morning, it goes, that's Dan. And I just lost it.
Yeah, I think that sounds right.
We were all gone.
That was pretty fucking incredible. That was maybe the highlight of the entire summer when it came to gaming coverage because, man.
No, Tony Hawk.
Tony Hawk, yeah. Man, I was thinking about it while I said it. I was like,
For my second pick, I'm really tempted to highlight Guerrilla Collective here. But
Okay.
one day of Guerrilla Collective was actually good.
Okay.
And then the other day was that nightmare that we watched.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why it buckled.
Man. So I guess I too will shoot opening night live.
Jesus.
Just because it had actual legitimate hype, Keeley had been getting good things throughout the summer. Like, he gave us Tony Hawk.
Yeah.
He gave us Crash.
Yeah.
He gave us Muppets.
We thought we would see something good here.
Yeah.
Instead, it was nothing for, I think I looked it up, 2 hours and 40 minutes. Yeah.
All these were like so much longer than they had any reason to be.
And some are like minor. It's like a trailer for Destiny 2's expansion, some gameplay trailer for Doom Eternal's DLC, Star Wars Squadrons, that Mafia thing. It was a lot of like small stuff, games we know about.
Like, even Squadrons, Keeley did another event before that with Squadrons. So we had the announcements already happen.
Mm-hmm.
So there was so much that was just like, we already know about this. Why are you showing us? That, yeah, it was just a really bad event.
Oh god, and it had the fucking the Star Wars Sims pack. where we learned that the Star Wars characters can't shit.
Okay, so I'm going to give my first vote to Summer of Gaming. I mean, come on, guys. The IGN Summer of Gaming was absolutely terrible.
Oh, no.
It really was absolutely rock bottom. It made me realize it proved exactly what I worried was true, which is, guys, you keep saying you don't want E3 and that you can do fine with all the publishers and all of the game outlets doing their own events, and they fucking proved you wrong. That void, that vacuum will be filled by the worst version possible. And that's what we saw.
And some people are like, I just don't want any events at all. Just people announce when they want to. And I'm like, that sounds boring. You're boring.
Yeah, that's incredibly boring.
Yeah, why would you want that?
We need Gamer Christmas in the middle of the year. Stop being such a fucking Scrooge. We need people to have things to look forward to in the summer because games generally don't ship then. Second word goes to the Guerrilla Collective. That stream was unreal.
It was unreal.
I'm actually a big fan of Mega Man X eats shit over and over and over. And you're like, what?
I think that my favorite was the strategy, the tactical RTS game.
Where the little schoolboy dies in a snow fight.
Yes, where he can't beat the tutorial in the snowball fight.
It's like, did you guys...
How did I forget that?
Did you guys not practice this even once? Who greenlit this? Who approved this? This is such amateur shit. Guys...
There's something admirable about Greg Miller going, I'm going to throw it to you, and him going, well, whatever, it's their fucking job now.
I know, right?
We somehow found two guys who had never played an video game. Not even once before.
Not in a million years.
You just fucking Death Starred my mind, man. How did we not put EA Play in here?
Because the rest of these were bigger nightmares.
That's
I
correct.
don't even remember. I have EA has completely left my mind.
Oh, okay.
I mean, you just Death Star my mind, man, really is the worst part.
You just
that's all I remember.
My mind, Dragon Age test footage, Skate 4, We Exist.
See, at least it had something.
Skate 4, We Exist is so depressing. It's just
EA's
as depressing as the Dragon Age.
We will soon no longer hate America.
So based on the sheer number of nominations alone, we only nominated 3 things, and we nominated one of them 4 times and another one 3 times and then one of them once. Guys,
Lock it in.
Easiest
Cut
category. IGN Summer of
Thank
Gaming
God.
is the worst event of 2020 because it's 2 weeks of mediocrity. Opening Night Live takes second. Hey, you guys remember in the middle of the IGN Summer of Gaming thing when they were doing the Marvel Avengers bit? And then it was clear that they were filling time for the speedrunner to come in. Anyways, Opening Night Live takes second place. And then the Guerrilla Collective takes third when it comes to worst gaming event of 2020.
Good job.
Good job, everyone. We got to the bottom of it.
God, then you have to count those streamers that they did that were the speedrunners, that they put their own stuff over, like their own overlays that were terrible.
That said, like Bazinga, Coin Noise, Mario Wahoo.
Yeah, coin noises, random anime like memes that happened from a year ago.
Mm-hmm.
It was that was really bad.
It was pretty bad. Okay, guys, we're down to the end. We've only got a little bit more. Next category, worst company of 2020.
Yes.
You can tell Feels really invested.
I forgot who we nominated here.
Oh
no.
I've been doing my best to not focus too much on it. Here we go. Alphabetically sorted. Holy shit, it's a fucking sandwich. Alphabetically sorted. Amazon Game Studios. Google. IGN for financing next-gen console watch. I'm very curious who wrote that in.
Me.
Microsoft. The Bigot Spire known as Ubisoft. And Twitch. So the beginning and end are Amazon.
Okay, so we need to do what we did for Cyberpunk and just be like, obviously Ubisoft is the worst one.
Yeah, we did talk about this.
That's true.
They did have the most just like heinous stuff come out of them this year. Of the
Everyone was going to vote for Ubisoft, right?
Yeah, I was going to vote for Ubisoft.
because every time they were about to do an event, they're like, "Oh well, this large group of people have just been under allegations for all of this."
Don't pay attention about about don't look at our mobile game. You didn't care before, why are you gonna care now?
Yeah, there's that. And then there's also the guy who's like, do not pay attention to my wife behind the green curtain as he's a giant Wizard of Oz head. God.
The fact that we get to do a bit that was making me crumble of just like, so you think this person has been thrown out of the company and they didn't have enough time to like cut his segment?
Oh my God. So yeah, we're gonna cut the bigot spire known as Ubisoft. Hopefully they improve next year. It sounds like they're trying to get their shit together over there. Good luck to you.
They automatically won who's human first place. as godhood
Yes.
cannot be achieved by a normal company.
Going below the status of Super Saiyan God, the competitors are now Amazon Game Studios, Google, IGN for financing next-gen console watch, Microsoft, and Twitch. Are we going to combine Amazon Game Studios and Twitch into just Amazon? Because that is the company.
I mean, that makes sense, but it doesn't feel as good to yell at different parts of it.
Yeah, I
You know,
agree.
I was in the exact same mood.
They're so terrible in different ways because they do different things.
That
Then
it warrants.
Amazon's so big that there's different chunks that are doing their own thing and shitting their pants.
Yeah, it'd be like, oh, we got to give it to Sony because of their movies. Like, no.
Yeah, but those aren't both affecting games, but I totally see where you're coming from, yeah. Okay. Okay, then we'll leave them separate. What are we thinking? 2 votes? Honestly, I want 3.
2. It's only 5. We have to do 2.
Fuck it. We're missing something in here.
Okay.
CD Projekt Red.
We've already gave them a whole category.
That's true. We did literally have to exclude them from the other category.
Yeah, but don't they own GOG?
Yeah, they own GOG. What did GOG do? Oh,
That
they did that
fucking
thing with
Devotion
the...
thing that came out.
Yeah, I guess they deserve a spot.
Where they pulled that thing because gamers requested them to from China.
Yeah, the noted gamer, Xi Jinping.
I'm going to put CD Projekt Red on here.
Yeah.
I'll allow it.
This is really just to bump numbers up till we get 3 votes.
Oh no, I was just saying that because what they actually did.
All right.
Okay. We're still going to leave it at 2 votes.
Okay.
I'm just staring. Thinking.
Okay.
We'll let Feel go first. I feel like Feel probably has some good feelings.
First, Amazon Game Studios, solely for the historical element, where it's like nobody has ever unreleased a game before.
Yes.
Nobody has ever put out a game to like, here's our game. Oh fuck, we're sorry.
We're
Let's take
cutting
it
out
back.
the main game feature out of the game, and that still kills me. We got rid of the mode that this game was built upon and are keeping a side mode.
Mm-hmm.
Next is Twitch, because it's like, yeah, you're facing an existential threat. We're gonna go to sleep now. Good night. We got rid of the blind playthrough category, and then some of our employees got really mad on Twitter when actual sight impaired people mocked them,
Yeah, of course.
and was like, you know what affects me more? Your fucking inability to deal with the RIAA at all. And the third one, Google. Just because what Stadia
Oh, wait. I
represents.
thought we were holding at 2 votes.
Yeah, we're at 2.
Oh, we're at still 2. Okay, I thought we added. Okay, then that's mine.
Okay. Feel nominated at Amazon twice. That's fucking hilarious. KZ.
CD Projekt Red.
Okay.
One for the whole Devotion China thing, trying to say that gamers were the reason that game got pulled, is pathetic.
It definitely is pathetic.
Mm-hmm. That Cyberpunk thing, we gave them the super win for it being buggy.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like the thing that you gotta think about, one, they had such a good reputation, and they used it to ship something that rough.
Yes.
But the way they handled reviews was so bad. where they're like, no one gets access to the console versions of this game. You're going to review a PC build that needs numerous more patches. You cannot release a review using your footage. You must use B-roll only. And the only way you see console footage is through us. They were doing everything they could to not only hide how bad the console footage of their game looked, but hide how bad that game just runs.
Yeah.
On any platform possible. I don't recall a situation where they're like, no, your review has to use B-roll. I've seen embargoes where it's like, don't show this chunk, and this chunk. Like The Last of Us 2 had one that's like, you can only show like a collective hour and a half of this game because we don't want to immediately let people know what this game is. But this is deceptive on an insane level.
Yeah.
Of just how they handled that, especially given their reputation. They just kind of like burned all of it, which is it's crazy.
I agree with what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah. Just you look at every angle of what they did with their game, how they're handling certain other things with their business, and the deceptive like feeling of it. It's like I don't even see EA doing this, or any other big like publisher just going, we're gonna ship something that fucked up.
I feel like none of them have done it in a while, at least.
Yeah, it's like we're gonna ship something really fucked up and give you as many restrictions to hide that it's that fucked up.
Yeah, it feels like that's a 7th gen thing for most publishers.
Bethesda doesn't do that, and look what they give you.
Fallout 76 was absolutely this bad. It was just this bad on everything.
Yeah, but they didn't hide it. They put out a letter saying it was going to be bad, and then said they were brave.
Yeah, I think that the thing was nobody can review it till it's out because that's when we send out the codes. So they just delay reviews manually like that instead of, deceptive tactics.
Bethesda's just like,
really
we don't give anybody review codes anymore.
That's true.
Yeah,
that's true. They did that with Doom 2016.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and that game was
they
good.
Stopped eventually. Yeah, they went all in on like, we don't care about actual review stuff at all. We just send things to YouTubers and streamers. But yeah, that's my number one, CD Projekt Red. Among the others, worst company. Next gen console watch is a glorious thing that I love watching. I can't give them any ire. God. I just spent 10 seconds going, why the fuck's Google here? What do they have to do with video games? This isn't a bit. I straight up was like, what do they have to do with video games?
Yeah, their presence with Stadia has been so strong this year. I'm so owned by all those Stadia stands on Twitter who don't totally work for Google. I'm so fucking owned, Bob. Oh no.
Yeah, that guy's gonna check back with us when they've released 5 new different versions of Stadia and have kept up and made it way better than the Xbox Series X.
Yeah, they're gonna show them. It's totally a winning strategy to make a custom console that's Linux based, that lives in a cloud, that you have to make a bespoke version of your fucking game for. It's not like Amazon's gonna eat your lunch in 10 fucking minutes with their Luna or whatever they called it.
Yeah.
Fucking moron.
Yeah, Amazon Game Studio.
Okay.
I'll give it to Amazon Game Studios.
Okay.
Because overall, any studio they snatched up, I feel like just gets chewed up. They don't get allowed to make anything. Because as they've shown now, they'll either cancel it, release it, roll it back, and then delete it. So as it turns out, it's like Breakaway, destroyed. Crucible, it came out, and then... And then they just like pulled its pants down and then fucking threw it into the trash. Who knows what's gonna happen to that New World thing? It's just won't forgive them for like taking a good game developer like Double Helix, who's like, hey, you're starting to make good games now. All right, well, we're gonna ruin it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So those are my picks.
Okay. Bob.
Okay. I'm going to select Twitch.
Okay.
A lot of things we've already been over with the apathy they've shown to actually being helpful to the community at all. It's really not encouraging. Other than that, I'm gonna say Microsoft.
Okay.
I think that the Game Pass strategy presents a legitimate threat to the industry and how it operates, and them putting this much weight behind it is only damaging going forward.
Okay.
Yeah, we didn't really get any major game cancellations yet this year
From Microsoft?
from Microsoft.
No, they
so
shipped Battletoads. You can't complain anymore.
Yeah. So, I can't harp on it from that angle. I didn't even want to do it, but this year has been the year of Game Pass, and I don't think that's okay.
Okay.
Game Pass needed to get 1 year. It's never going to get one again.
Okay. My first nomination goes to Twitch because every Silicon Valley social media site has a brain disease where they will inevitably ruin everything their user base found appealing to them originally while strapping on all sorts of feature nobody ever cares about and adding a bunch of regulations and problems that will slowly destroy the people who make their livings there and make the community thrive. Eventually, there will come a breaking point where no one will go to the site anymore if a competitor ever shows up. But since we're in late game capitalism, the problem of a competitor showing up is so immense that it will take some other monopoly coming in and repeating the same mistakes to do it again. For example, we're talking about Twitch, who did that exact thing to YouTube and has now become that. So then, with that nomination out of the way.
I feel like you've been thinking about that one for a while.
It's the background radiation of my life.
Oh, okay.
It's the background radiation of our fucking generation. The next one's actually really hard for me. Amazon Game Studios is a massive fucking failure. That ain't my problem. CD Projekt Red is incredibly deceitful and did that shitty thing with GOG. But that isn't even that low for a fucking Western publisher. Western publishers have pulled this shit time and time again across the last 15 years. We've seen various scales of it. There was the whole Kane and Lynch scenario. There's all sorts of things. Like marketing deals with publishers on gaming websites used to be such a contentious and complicated thing. All sorts of studios have, publishers specifically, in the past have blacklisted people because they didn't review them high enough when they gave something maybe an 8. So CD Projekt Red, they're shitty. But to be perfectly fucking honest, anyone who's paying attention, either themselves or to us paying attention, you would have known Cyberpunk was going to run like shit on last gen. You knew that thing was going to be a burning pile of garbage, piles of glitches. It was foreseeable. This is not new for a publisher. This is expected for the game. So I'm not going to nominate them because of that.
That was like a weird thing where game journalists were like, they hid it from us. How could we know that this would run bad? And I'm like, you're stupid. Like, let's say you're like, okay, maybe it'll be rough. The moment they didn't let you see it,
yeah,
or cover it, you should have known.
Right.
That's I can understand a normal person being tricked, but if you're like, Cyberpunk's a 98 or whatever the fuck, because a lot of people gave it that high. Like, you can't be like, oh, I expected the PS4 version to be basically this, but a little worse. Like, you're insane. You shouldn't be getting money for writing.
Yeah, no, you should have for that game, in that circumstance, when that move is made, you should absolutely have a major level sense of reticence.
Right. Like
assuming
the beginning of your review should be, hey, they didn't let us even see this. It's probably trash.
Maybe wait even 10 minutes before you pick up that version. I mean, we were warning people a year in advance. We were like, this game probably shouldn't come out on last-gen consoles. We have no idea how it's going to work. The scope they're going for seems like a lot. And, so I'm not going to nominate them because of that. Google, They wish they
Hey,
were.
they're doing great. Jade Raymond's over there. They just signed and they bought exclusivity on a Harmonix game.
They wish they were important enough for me to nominate as worst gaming company. Moving on. IGN, really stupid. Next Gen Console Watch is a terrible show. Feel, I find it funny you put this in here. I'm not going to vote for it.
Yeah, fucking Field didn't watch 6 hours straight of it like we
That's
did.
true.
Yeah, like
I didn't.
ultra chads.
So here's my complication. This leaves me with one company.
Uh-huh.
I know. This literal. I felt like you've been spending this whole thing explaining your argument on all of them, so that people just don't laugh when you pick Microsoft.
No, it really was me just stepping through the list and explaining like how I feel about each of these. Microsoft, their smart delivery fuck up has made it so I can't play games on this fucking box. And more importantly, on a box that has worked fine for us, the One X, for 3 years. They fucked up smart delivery that hardcore that it's not able to play Gears 5 anymore in the year of 2020. Their Game Pass system, ultimately, the only way for them to profit is for creators to suffer. Bethesda would not take that hit, so they had to buy Bethesda in order to get Skyrim and important games on Game Pass. That's number one reason why they would buy Bethesda. It basically, they don't need exclusivity on the games even. As long as it's on Game Pass, people will stay on Game Pass.
Yeah, that's the thing I was going to say of like, it's also just them buying a gigantic studio like that. That's really
Or more
messed up.
accurately, a gigantic publisher full of 13 studios. This is how they solve their problem with studios. They don't build new ones. They buy a publisher full of studios. That, I believe, doesn't add anything to gaming and now brings up questions of whether or not you can play these games you love on the platform of your preference. You know, there are huge Skyrim fans who are Sony fans. But we don't know which way they're going with that. At the end of the day, I'm going to say Microsoft's influence on the industry has been terrible because of their marketing initiatives this year, coming up with terms like pro-consumer to talk about anything they do.
Yeah.
Smart delivery being a very bizarre way to say cross-gen, but then also functionally as a feature, making it so I can't play my games. Xbox Series S and Xbox Series X being such a terrible thing to say and sounding so similar that it's making retail employees' lives hell. And this isn't speculation. I've talked to a lot of people who work in retail who have to explain that, who have to deal with that.
God, if I was still working at this year, I would be complaining about it every week.
and the blatantly false narrative that is these play the same games as the Series X but at 1440p, that is not fucking remotely accurate. That may be true in a couple of cases, but we're seeing games go as low as like 1080p, 900p. What? We've seen a game at 640p. You can't sit there and tell a layman this will play your games at 1440p because that power profile cannot do that. That power profile is not a 1440p machine. There are plenty of games that are shipping that these full-fledged consoles, the PS5, Series X, whatever, are 1440p machines. And on top of all of this, on top of all these other things I've already mentioned, they decided to redesign the SDK to make it easier to deploy across every console they made and PC, and because of that, it made every launch game on their system so fucking rough that a machine that on paper should be weaker is legitimately running some games better, and everyone's fucking losing it because the whole point of the Series X was to have the definitive next-gen most powerful machine. So I'm going to say Microsoft because they fucked up over and over and over again, and their marketing is shitty and sometimes a little bit toxic. That's why I'm going to say Microsoft. I didn't exactly set out here to vote for them. I didn't add them to this list. If Amazon Game Studios had bought Double Helix this year, they probably would have taken the slot. But they did that like 7 years ago. Yeah, and it sucks. It sucks really bad. Like, I'm legitimately upset because they really hit a stride towards the end. And then they were bought, and now they're dead. What the
And you know what? You know what?
Yeah.
Makes sense. Makes sense what you picked. Microsoft should have bought Double Helix.
That actually would have been better than Amazon Game Studios.
Because every fucking fan of Killer Instinct's like, please, hopefully Microsoft will just buy them. They shouldn't be that expensive. They consider this game an Xbox Live Arcade thing, but Microsoft's like, no, now this is the moment we don't feel like buying things.
Yeah, they didn't get into that mode until 2 years later. If they had started 2 years sooner, they could have got a legitimate small studio to help bring from the ground up into being a full-fledged powerhouse.
Yeah, but that's hard.
Yeah, that's one of the best studios they've worked with ever. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, because that studio just woke up, made a really cool fighting game, and also made that Strider game, and people were like, wow.
Yeah.
What the fuck happened? You're the guys that made the really bad fucking Silent Hill game and Battleship.
Yeah.
The movie game.
Yeah. And yet that Strider game is one of the best Strider games. And that Killer Instinct is one of the best Killer Instincts. Like, good fucking job, you guys. You did great. Your fate, you get bought by Amazon and go into a black hole.
And it has some of the best netcode of any fighting game to exist, and it came out 8 years ago.
Yep.
Yeah, it's nuts. But yeah, I'm gonna say all that for Microsoft. You guys need to be doing better. You need to have a launch lineup. I shouldn't have to explain that, right? I shouldn't have to explain that you should have a launch lineup.
Well, they have a launch lineup, 1,000 games.
They have a launch lineup, Mario 64.
God, they were the most intense amount of just lying to your face this year.
It's just been shitty. It's just been shitty as hell. I feel like, I'm gonna be honest, I don't see Sony making a lot of marketing claims that are as toxic as PS3 era Sony, right?
Uh-huh.
We're like, next gen doesn't start till we say it does. You need Blu-ray for real games. The cell processor is so powerful you can only do next gen on it, etc., 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 right?
Yeah.
You don't see that out of Sony anymore. Sony's marketing as of late has been, we made a game, here it is. Microsoft this whole year has been spinning narratives of concepts, right? It's like everyone so many people wrote articles this year. Microsoft's real next gen system is Game Pass. Like, that's their real next platform. The amount of times we saw that.
Microsoft got everyone so confused that even normal people that I know are reasonable have just gotten warped by, well, we can't really compare PlayStation and Xbox anymore because they're doing two different approaches. And they're both valid in their own way. One's making a bunch of games and selling them to you. The other one's got Game Pass. And Game Pass is a different approach. They're trying to be Netflix. And I got a lot of games.
Yeah. I see that.
My games.
I see that a lot.
And they're like, they bought Bethesda, so they're serious. So it's really cool.
Yeah. It's obviously early to say how deleterious the fucking effects of Game Pass will be on the game industry at large. All I know is multiple different games that were on Game Pass for long periods of times begged people to buy the game. The developers begged people to buy the game if they liked it. That says enough. That's enough for me. I don't think we need to look at the long-term sales data of how many developers shut down that were on Game Pass. I feel like at the point where a developer goes, hey, if you enjoyed our game on Game Pass, that's cool. Please buy the game if you really loved it. It helps us a lot. I think even that level tells us everything we need to know about their margins.
And they have to turn to a YouTuber who tells you to click the bell.
Right.
Yeah.
When a game developer, the reason the game fucking exists, has to do that, then that's not a good supportive business model.
Does that mean that just Game Pass is just paying in AdSense?
Basically.
Oh.
So yeah, Microsoft, sure, why not? Going by votes, the current order is Twitch, Microsoft, AG, Amazon Game Studios, CDPR. Now, these are all exactly sorted by their vote count, except Amazon Game Studios and Microsoft are tied. So let me move this down. We gonna do a vote. So the vote is between, on a tie for second/third place, Microsoft and Amazon Game Studios. We'll start with KZ.
Microsoft, you said a lot of words.
Feel?
I didn't want to beat up on Microsoft, but Microsoft Game Pass is toxin to the world.
Okay, Bob.
Yeah, Microsoft.
Okay, and then I just did that giant thing explaining why I voted for them over Amazon Game Studios. Believe me, if they bought Double Helix and other devs this year at Amazon, they would have won. Because that was the worst.
Yeah, this year we just see this train wrecks that they're making.
No, this year is an elephant graveyard.
Amazon buys Bethesda. That would have killed me.
If Amazon bought Bethesda. Jesus.
Kill.
So, I feel like this list is very different from our list last year.
What was our list last year?
I can't remember off the top of my head. I'll go see if there's a document save. Because I'm really sure we did this fucking category last year. The worst company in gaming of 2020 goes to Twitch, God, Microsoft, and Amazon Game Studios. Worth noting, if we had consolidated Amazon Game Studios and Twitch to Amazon, there could have been a third company on this
No,
list.
they deserve it twice.
Don't forget about the top of the list, which is also Ubisoft.
That's true. Ubisoft, technically, is
Yeah.
the biggest buyer.
Yes.
I have hope for some of these companies and improving in the new year.
Okay.
I can do that. You can't stop me.
Okay. Go
Okay.
for it, man.
Nice.
So do I.
Okay. Last category. Ooh. Best DLC. This is what everyone's been waiting for, right?
Obviously.
I don't know. I think it's
Whatever. At least it's not a fucking bummer one.
I think it's a great category.
Yeah.
I know what I'm voting for. It takes 0 seconds to think of it. The nominees are, not in alphabetical order, Mortal Kombat Aftermath, Virgil, Kingdom Hearts 3 Remind, Doom Eternal, The Ancient Gods, and Smash Bros. Ultimate. Bob, are you good to go?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, do it.
Virgil. We only need to vote for 2, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, Virgil's great.
Uh-huh.
That's a very interesting moveset they've given him.
Mm-hmm.
I love seeing all the new things added to all the old stuff, and the new way that Sin Devil Trigger works for him is really cool.
Yeah.
His concentration, also great returning mechanic. And yeah, it's just a real joy to play as this guy.
We need to explain to people who maybe haven't thought about this the way you did when you added to this list. Why is this under DLC? Isn't he exclusive to a next-gen version of this game?
No, the DLC for just him came out for last gen NPC a few weeks after the game.
So there we go.
December 15th.
Yeah, there you go.
Perfectly eligible.
Yes. Very powerful DLC. Really great. I don't want to spoil it, but they do change the final boss, and it's a lot of fun. Yeah. It's
Okay.
one of the best DLCs I've played.
Okay.
Now it gets harder. I haven't actually played the Doom Eternal one yet, so I can't even vote on that.
That's a shame. I hung out with KZ while he played it.
I'm sure it's good.
Oh, it's fucking good.
That'll probably be on the list next year when all of it comes out and I have the next gen version, so I go back and play it.
That's true. You can totally hit the nominees. You go over here. I forgot to label it Part 1.
Okay, there you go. Part 1.
So part 2 gets a nomination next year. Maybe.
Yeah, because maybe.
Because that ending.
Oh my god, dude.
I know, right? Shit.
Talk about how they do story in Doom Eternal.
I know, right? Holy fuck. I didn't even take that into account when we were talking Kino. It is a fucking shame part 2 didn't ship this year.
Yeah.
And for my second vote, I'm kind of caught between the Smash Bros. DLC, which did disappoint me, but was still a lot of fun, and the Mortal Kombat Aftermath thing. Mortal Kombat Aftermath is a hilarious ending to that game.
It's got Shang Tsung in it.
It's got Shang Tsung, the actress from the original movie.
That's so fucking
It's
good.
so excellent. And then all the DLC fighters this year have been really good, like Rambo and RoboCop. So, yeah, I'm going to give it to Mortal Kombat. I think it really earns it. That was legitimately a great part to the game. And, yeah, all those characters are a lot of fun.
Word. Yeah, they are. We're gonna go to feel next.
Doom Eternal, because it's like if Doom 3 came out 2 years from now, it would be this DLC. Like if they just made an iterative sequel,
Okay.
it's that much of an improvement. Everything in it's really cool.
Especially the pod race.
And other than that, I'm gonna give it to Smash Bros. Because every character they released this year was either a lot of fun or a nightmare, like Steve.
God.
Yes.
Yeah, no, that's toxic, man.
Got some good
And
JPEGs. I mean, I think Byleth is fine.
God, I forgot Byleth was this year.
Yeah, just perfect guard.
Yeah, it's perfect guard.
Yeah, just perfect parry the one frame traveling arrow.
That does a billion damage.
Thanks, Eric.
We'll shatter your shield if you don't.
The fucked up thing is
Fully charged does like 40%.
as much as I joke about it, I have perfect parried a lot this year, you know?
Good advice from that man.
Yeah. Okay, we go to KZ next.
Doom Eternal, Ancient Gods Part 1. This is like the perfect DLC type of thing where it throws you into that main campaign. They took the feedback from the last one where they didn't do any DLC for the main campaign at all and did multiplayer maps that people didn't want that was farmed off to another studio. They instead did the main campaign. The new stuff in the story is really good, especially a lot of the character work they do in it. From a mechanic standpoint, all of the new enemies are dope and infuriating in the way you want a new Doom Eternal enemy to be. And some of the new rooms that they end up making you go through challenges and the scaling difficulty where it does feel like a nice jump between the last levels of the main campaign to this one just feel great. The environments are also pretty fresh. That last boss in the DLC is so insane. I can't cope with what they're going to do next. Like,
Yeah.
like just everything they expected you to do in that. I'm like, this next one's going to really make me upset, which means it's going to be really good. Second one goes to Kingdom Hearts 3 Remind. The first part of the DLC, which is the story stuff, wasn't as good as I would have liked because there's a lot of repeated content in there. The new stuff I think is really, really good in terms of like the story stuff that I really enjoyed. Some of the set piece stuff they added overall. And some of the extra little exploration they let you do. The main course in that is, of course, all the extra bosses. These are the best designed bosses they've done in the entire series. They balanced them in such a way that you can't like. So many of the mechanics in Kingdom Hearts 3 as a whole can just like break so many encounters in that game, and they kind of just like stripped a lot of things out, really focused in on the like 1v1 aspect of it, and just every fight in there is just so immaculate in just how they like put it together. Each one has their own track. They got guest composers to come in, even like people from Capcom did a couple of the arrangements for some of the tracks they used for those fights. This is something that I just really wanted from that game. I think the thing that was missing is something in the post game to chase, and the secret stuff was also good. So I had a really good time there, but definitely should not have cost half the price of the main game. I paid
forgot
it because I was the target audience, and this was literally the one piece of content I wanted more than anything else in that game.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's fair. I feel like the battles are incredible, and I wish that was a bit more of how battles went in the main game.
Yeah,
I really
that is the
enjoyed
one
them.
issue that I can sympathize with people. The onboarding on that is really bad.
Yeah.
Because just the scale of jumping from the main game to that, the gap is so big. It is so big that it feels way too abrasive in a way that even previous games didn't. But like once you get into that, once you understand it and you're like leveled for it and everything, just it's so much more rewarding because it's just they have really, really good patterns and a really good flow to the fights. Really rewarding openings with multiple different ways to do those openings. And most of all, they did this exact same type of thing with super bosses in Kingdom Hearts 2. And half of those were really bad. Because they were like, these are the same story fights. Their health is doubled. And if they had a gimmick before, it is more insufferable now.
Yes. Yeah. I've seen
like,
those fights.
Yeah, like Kingdom Hearts 2 had Demix who would summon water clones around the area. And then the main fight, you do it once, and then you'd fight him a bit. His data version, you do it 7 times in a row. Then you fight him, then you do it 7 more times. And then you kill him. Or, you're fighting Axel. He was a tutorial boss fight, so he has 2 combos. Well, the floor was on fire, and before it didn't damage you, why don't we just have it drain your health really, really fast? So you have to manage it. And that's what Kingdom Hearts 2 did a lot. Here, they completely made new movesets, completely new techniques, special attacks. It felt like they went, what if this boss never existed in the game before? And we just had to focus on making it good here. So I came out really happy with that. Yeah. And I wanted to highlight it here because it's DLC, so it's not going to be in my top 10.
Yeah,
I would do it though.
Yeah,
only like top 5.
If we allowed
it'd probably be like 6 or 5.
That allows it to. That opens the doors to some scary things.
But I couldn't. Even then, I couldn't do it because my top 10's hard this time.
Yeah,
I had to change it again tonight. I forgot Neo 2 came out this year.
My top 10's hard enough where I stopped playing a game hours in because I said nope. Like I know it's not breaking it. I have to stop. I could play this later.
That is hilarious.
And I keep in mind, I was enjoying the game. It was a delightful game, full of charm, full of joy. But something like 6, 7, maybe more hours in, I went, that's not breaking that top 10. I gotta stop.
It's like it's like what you assume a number 10 quality game is just a bouncer. And they just try to like punch it, and it's like Broly, and he's just like, no.
Yep, just constant reversals.
Sorry, Trials of Mana.
Okay, I gotta do mine. I'm gonna go with Smash Bros. Ultimate for my first. I think they did a fantastic job of supporting the game. I think all the choices were exciting. Even the one that I wasn't excited about, the moveset was interesting. I think they did a good job of keeping it bizarre, and I'm really glad they brought Min Min in. I think I would feel a little bit less strong about this DLC if they didn't bring in Min Min.
Yeah. Thinking about it, she's like my second favorite of the ones this year.
Yeah, I think she's up there with me. I appreciate, even if I don't play as the character getting added. And by the character, I don't mean that one. I actually do play as her a decent bit. But other characters getting added that can make things more interesting and bizarre and unhinged. Like Minecraft Steve. And Sephiroth's fucking Final Smash that does bullshit.
It's like, I hate you with the Final Smash. What happened? My controls are reversed and I'm flying away.
I'm holding the direction for idiots.
I was at 10% and still felt the need to DI. This is on me.
Yes. So this is really bizarre. I'm leaving it up to you guys whether or not I'm permitted to do this, okay? I watched KZ play all of Doom Eternal: The Ancient Gods Part 1.
You did.
And I want to nominate it because the strength of the level design and enemy design, along with the plot shit in it, is so strong. But I held off on playing it because I'm waiting for Part 2. I feel more strongly about that than I do Virgil or Mortal Kombat Aftermath or Kingdom Hearts 3 Remind. So I want to nominate that, but if you guys say that's bullshit, I'll respect that.
Nah, it's fine for me.
Yeah, I think we should allow it.
You were co-hosting my stream. I support it because you were a very good co-host during that stream. And I just remember you going, Casey, how's it going? I drop dead on the floor. Good.
That last battle area is so many levels of you see shit like this in movies, not in real video games. What do you mean there's 9 different platforms moving up and down? You're swinging from each of them. Half of them are electrified. This enemy's over here doing this. That enemy's over there doing that. It's so nuts.
Nothing was more pure than me dodging away, turning around, jumping onto a platform that's fine, and half a second before I land, it electrifies. You just start cackling.
Yeah. But yeah, the plot shit in that's so good. I love that new character where he's just like, okay, well, I'm gonna do that. Like, the bald guy is so fucking funny in this DLC.
Yes, he is.
He's like, okay, just so you know, Doom Guy, if you're gonna do that, it's gonna cause all these things, and that's gonna be a big problem. Cuts to Doom Guy emotionlessly unmoving, staring back. Okay, well, I'm gonna do it then. Here we go.
and then after that, he's like, here's every mechanic on how all the hell shit works. It's just like, yeah, if you do that, that'll work like that. So go ahead.
Go right ahead. That actually works. But yeah, I actually do like a lot of Kingdom Hearts 3 Remind, but none of it's the plot stuff. I actually think the data battles are really neat, but I'm not the hugest fan of how they integrated the new ending. I feel like it's a clusterfuck to tell people what the ending of Kingdom Hearts 3 is canonically now. Like, before it was fine. It was easy to explain the loop. Now it's even more weird because there's an extra level of it, and playing through it wasn't exactly fun, in my opinion, to begin with. So,
like part of the issue with the loop also is that so much of it doesn't really matter. Where it's this thing of like, yeah, it's a loop. This character did this, went back and redid these last section, but it still ended the same. And it's like, what did I miss then? There's some cool set piece stuff that they probably would have loved to put into the main game because it was really cool. There may or may not have been a Mickey Mouse microwave hallway. Also a CG cutscene in which they said, no, those characters were there. You just had to pan up on the camera a little bit. Which
that was fucking hilarious.
That was hilarious. And like I always say, I respect it when you spend millions of dollars.
Okay, so what I'm seeing here, tallying these votes, okay, and once again, these aren't perfectly locked in. If someone wants to make the argument, I'll hear it out. We have what appears to be a 3-way split for third place. First and second place going to Doom Eternal, The Ancient Gods Part 1, and Smash Brothers Ultimate. That would be first and second. Third place, 3-way split is Virgil, Mortal Kombat, Aftermath, and Kingdom Hearts 3 Remind. So, I guess let's sort out third place, okay?
Sure.
Let's do that first. We're going to get 2 votes each between these 3 options of Virgil, Mortal Kombat Aftermath, and Kingdom Hearts 3 Remind. I'll start first. I am going to give points to Aftermath and Remind. Bob?
Virgil and Aftermath.
Okay. Feel?
Aftermath and Remind.
Casey?
Remind and Aftermath.
Okay. Now, by that tally, that means Aftermath got 4 votes, Remind got 3, and Virgil got 1. That means Mortal Kombat Aftermath would make third place. Is everyone cool with that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I adore Remind's DLC, but the things that they did to Mortal Kombat in terms of support here is like exceptional on a level that arguably is better than the 2 above it.
Yes.
Additional characters, a completely extra story thing, and even like that next gen upgrade is just like a post-launch support thing that's just dope. So
yeah,
I have no problem. I had no problem voting for that and shooting my child.
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot to be said for Aftermath over Smash Brothers Ultimate. I wish Smash Brothers Ultimate had an insane DLC like this with even more story.
Yeah, no, that'd be great.
It would be fantastic, but
they need to wait until every character is in so it can be the most unhinged thing ever.
Oh yeah, they could sell that for 60 and just do a whole nother fuck. Like, here's the thing: do some Space Emissary without the fucking platforming.
Yeah.
Just do that. Tons of shitty cutscenes. All of these characters.
So
It's
a
dumb.
bunch of
It's
shitty
fun.
cutscenes, and it's like pick the character where they would do the freeze frame where you would select the character on a PNG, and then it would just cut to a traditional Smash match
Yeah.
instead of having to do adventure levels.
Yes, because I'm really not a fan of the adventure levels. It just feels like really, really bad Kirby. Like, really bad Kirby. Like, worse than any actual Kirby game has been, in case no one's reading my tone right.
It's like Kirby, only in shape.
There you go.
It is like Kirby in as much that a shaved bear is like a person.
Yes.
Yes, it is Kirby in that we know he made Kirby before,
And there are platforms
but this
that
is just
work like Kirby.
yes.
Doors
And
that
it's
work like Kirby.
and it's 2D.
Yeah.
Sometimes you eat a maximum tomato.
So now we need to talk about this.
Yeah.
I think. I don't know. How does everyone feel about this order?
I think this order is
I think it's fine.
fine. I haven't
Yeah.
played Doom Eternal, so I can't really say anything about that, but you guys seem to love it, so I'm not going to argue that.
Yeah, I think
I
you
don't know.
really enjoy
Did
it.
you love Doom?
Yeah,
Did you love Doom even when it threw a Marauder at you?
of course.
Okay, well they throw 2 at you, I think, at the first level, so I think you'll love the DLC. At the same time.
Yeah, nothing in that DLC represents the worst parts of Eternal, and all of it represents the really best parts, in my opinion.
Okay, so it doesn't frequently, like, make you solve a puzzle that's kind of annoying.
Yeah, it doesn't throw a landscape navigation puzzle, or as we call the PC first-person shooter from the 90s level design moment
Yes.
in your face, which I found funny and delightful the couple times it did it to me in the game, but actually playing it sucked.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's still light platforming, but there's nothing that's like, yeah, we padded out the DLC with this. It's like, no, we padded out the DLC by making it hard.
Yo, you're in a giant fucking room. There's a thing on the wall. It might do a thing. Who knows? Nope, nothing. That's just level design. Guess you need to scrape this wooden spoon all over the environment to find out where you go next.
Yeah, this DLC will be longer because you're getting mad at the new enemy that's the ghost that possesses the enemy to buff.
That shit's cool as hell.
And then you got to use the fucking microwave beam on it or it's going to grab another enemy.
Yeah, you gotta suck them up into the machine and then make Ecto cooler.
Nice.
They literally said, we looked up metrics of what weapons you used and based the design of the new things off you having to only use those.
Yep. So, okay, everyone seems fine with this? I'm fine with this.
Yeah, Min Min's
Bark,
good enough
yeah.
to get it to second place.
What's up?
Min Min's good enough to get it to second place.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's really neat. Who the fuck would have thought of a character that can smash in 2 directions at once?
Before Smash Ultimate even came out, I guess like after E3, she was one of the ones where I'm like, if they do a Nintendo rep, pick Min Min. She's like the best ARMS design.
Yeah. I love a lot of the ARMS designs, so I'm happy they picked one, and she has the best hat, so I'm good.
Hell yeah.
Also, Ramen
See, that's
aesthetic is
important.
fantastic.
Cute girls with hats.
That is important. Okay, so best DLC of 2020 goes to Doom Eternal: The Ancient Gods Part 1, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, and Mortal Kombat Aftermath. Well, guys, we spent all of this month doing categories. I guess there's going to be no Game of the Year part Game of the Year. I'm sorry, guys.
Gotta throw out my list. This is fucked up. I put so much work into this
what a
damn
shame.
thing. The Last of Us 2 hit number 4 for me.
Well, maybe next year.